Hello, everyone. Welcome to Roll for Good and our Halloween hijinks. My name is Aida, and my pronouns are she and her. I heard that criminals were being rounded up for the next game, and well, the title criminal is a bit subjective. I'm just little old me, and people seem to apply the criminal label to me because my very wealthy spouses seem to be meeting their untimely deaths uh, very frequently. It's all a coincidence, I assure you. And all those funds, if they were real and I wasn't talking out of pure fantasy, I would donate them right now to AKT charity. And if you have means from spouses who have purposefully, but maybe legally distinctly not, met their untimely ends, consider donating your newfound riches via the links being posted in chat by our moderating team. Now, Blades in the Dark is a very fantastic game, I think, because there's a clock. Things happen and people get to die. Isn't that exciting? And with your donations, you can also add extra bits of excitement. You can help the players or you can hinder the players. I, for one, am a fan of giving a little bit of hindrance that makes it a bit spicy. So be sure to mention how you want your donation being put when you generously give via the Tiltify link. Also, we have a bit of a competition going, and I'm seeing that my preferred team is not doing so well. Now, the fact that someone like me survives and my spouses who weren't a fan of my house decorating choices got to go, I find that orderly. There is order set in a universe that I get to stay comfortable but sad. Of course, very sad. So, if you're like me, please ensure that the donation total amount is a very nice rounded number. But if you like to throw a wrench in things, you like to make a bit of a laugh, which I can appreciate every now and then make it a funny number. In the end, charity wins, and that's what we're all about here, right? Of course, excellent. I also want to give a very big shout out to the amazing people we saw in the community showcase who have been and are throughout all of our streams here. Make sure to give them a follow, be sure to thank them for the participation, and just bask in the glory of how wonderful our great community here on this side of the pond is. Most of us are here up at reasonable hours. For once, the luxury. It's fantastic. It's great. And I'm sure you're going to have a great time seeing this next Blades in the Dark game. So give it up, stick around, and we're going to hear from our next GM very soon. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you afterwards. Bye-bye.
Hi there, I'm Chris, and I'm really excited to be here to run a game of Blaze in the Dark. So I got my start in tabletop RPGs in the same way I think a lot of people I know did with actual play podcasts. Things like The Adventure Zone and The Magpies, which is where I first found out about Blaze in the Dark. And so I played in a couple of one-shots and short campaigns with my friends or at local clubs. But after that, I had some stories rattling around in my head that I wanted to try putting down myself. So I discovered that if you're willing to run a game, there's a lot of people eager to play. And so since then, I've been running games for my friends and family mostly, and when I can manage it, playing in a couple as well. Blades in the Dark, which is published by Evil Hat Productions and was originally created by John Harper, has your players act as a criminal gang in vying for their place in the eternally dark city of Duskfall, trying to survive the jackbooted bluecoats and avoid possession or something worse at the hands of a vengeful spirit. So you might be assassins or thieves or smugglers or maybe even a cult. And you'll find that in Duskfall, there's always someone willing to pay good coin for a job that they need done. The way that all works in the game is really it's a narrative. It's a conversation between the GM and the players that advances based on what you do and how you act in the game. And the way that is kind of codified with the rules is the action roll, where you roll a number of dice according to your stats, and that tells you whether you succeed or fail. But the important part of that is that it's not just the roll that matters, but also how your skills, your equipment, your experience as a crew stack up against whatever whoever or whatever you're going up against. And that can mean that oftentimes, while you might succeed at whatever you're doing, that there might be some unintended consequences for your actions. Maybe you manage to unlock that door, but the guards hear you and they're on their way. So what do you do now? And that interplay between the actions you take and the having to deal with the consequences for it is what really drives the story in Blaze in the Dark, which can make it quite tough, but there's plenty of ways that you can influence the strength of your actions, or even protect yourself against those consequences as well. So thank you all for listening, and I hope you tune in, and of course support Roll for Good and ACT in their aid for homeless LGBTQ plus youth, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you. Hello. Welcome to the spooky evening session of today's Roll for Good streams. Welcome to Blaze in the Dark and the City of Duskwall. I'm Chris. I'll be your GM for this first evening session. Welcome to all my lovely cast of players. Would you like to introduce yourselves and do a little bit of plug if you want? Chloe, let's start with you. I'll just go through my screen.
Yeah, hi, my name is Chloe. I use she, her pronouns. Today, I'm going to play Ali Grayson, who is a hound, like a sharpshooter, kind of tracker type character. Yeah, that's me.
Riley, how about you next?
Oh, me. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm Riley. I use she, her pronouns. I make video games on my off time, and if you want to play them, you can go to itch.io at Technophoria Collective. A little plug there. And I will be playing Hectate, a whisper who's a little weirdo, because I'm a little weirdo, and I like to play characters that represent my weirdo-ness.
Excellent. So it's good to put you can always bring that energy into a game like this. Callum.
Exactly.
Callum,
hello, I'm Callum. I use they, them, and new pronouns. I'm looking very forward to playing some Blades with you all.
And last but not least, Yeldar.
Hey everyone, my name is Yeldar. I use he, him pronouns. Joining here from Oakland, United States, and originally from Kazakhstan. So I'm very excited to play with y'all today.
Okay, fantastic. So, is everybody ready to get going?
Let's go.
No, never mind. I think I'm just gonna chill. No, I'm kidding.
Trying to get the spooky vibes going. So
let's play something else.
let's play Monopoly.
It's probably unnecessary to state that it's a dark evening in Duskwall, given that hundreds of years ago the sun was scorched out during the cataclysm. But it is cold and it is raining, and 4 people are walking silently but with purpose to the district of Night Market in the southeast of the city of Duskwall. There are a few warehouses containing old broken down machinery used in the trains of Night Market to the south. And in between these 2 warehouses, there is a narrow building with a simple door, and on that door there's a black sign with Agoria Private Investigator painted on it. Inside this building is a slim, tall man with light brown skin, and his black hair is slicked back over his head. wearing quite a bright, pale blue suit. He's leaning over his desk in his office, sifting through a bunch of papers, each of which has a drawn picture of a person and a list of details that he's hurriedly reading through. And as he hears a series of footsteps approaching his door, he jumps up and starts hurriedly putting all those papers into a folder that's labeled cutter and sharp. He picks up the folder and he throws it in the drawer in his desk and slams it shut, just as these four purposeful people walk into his office. Oh yes, hello. Come on, come in. Please do take a seat or stand if you'd rather. My name is Pavel Agoria, and I'm sure I've heard, I know your names in some way, but would you mind just reminding me? And he gestures to you, Chloe.
Yeah.
Could you please introduce your character with their name and pronouns, a brief description, and then maybe any extra detail you want to give us?
Yeah, of course. So I'm playing Alison Grayson, who's Ali for short, because two sons is too many. And she uses she, her pronouns. She is relatively small, but very athletic, and has this like dark curly hair that she's like roughly tied back into a ponytail. It kind of falls out. It's too big and curly to kind of stay in that ponytail. She has very dark eyes, and she walks with a kind of lazy confidence that she kind of makes her seem almost like she's not paying attention, but her eyes are always sort of darting around, looking at like where the exits are, who's in the room, all of that kind of thing. She also is just constantly chewing tobacco. And if she doesn't have any tobacco, she'll find something else to chew, like a bit of straw or something. Yeah, and she'll respond and she'll be like, absolutely, I will absolutely introduce myself as Allie Grayson at your service, and puts like a really forceful hand out to shake.
Pavel gingerly takes your hand and does not provide a particularly strong handshake.
Ali has a brilliantly strong handshake, so it's like mix of extremes there.
He backs off and kind of does a bit of that, and is like, yes, wonderful to meet you. And we'll go in the same order. So turns to your character next, Riley.
Hectate approaches. What was this guy's name again? Pavel. Hectate approaches Pavel, grabs the arm that crap, I forgot everyone's names. Allie grabs the arm that had the hand that Allie grabbed, and she's just gonna be like, I'm afraid we're going to have to amputate. Please hold still. And she is she is a tall, like unnaturally tall, very lanky person. She uses she, her pronouns. She probably looked like literal skin and bones underneath her like big robes and stuff. And she wears a very distinctive spider mask that kind of looks like a bunch of spider legs kind of coalescing together, like almost like putting your fingers together. If you've seen Osama Sentai King Oger, it's Jeremy's mask from that.
I think after the comment about amputation, Pavel pulls his arm back and is looking at your mask and seems unsure where on the mask to look, but doesn't shy away and greets you.
My eyes are here, and she just brings her hands down over her entire face.
I really must apologize for my friend here. Manners are not her strong suit.
Oh, that's all right. Manners aren't exactly why I brought you here. And then turns to you, Cal, to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so his Slake uses she, her, they, them pronouns, is dressed in a bright green with pink highlights long coat with a fluorescent pink undershirt and a navy blue waistcoat. They are about average height. Their hair is also like glowing blue with a pair of goggles resting on their head. They also wear glasses with the goggles on top as well. And they have the other thing that someone might notice about them, apart from everything, for someone in Duskfall wearing bright colors is kind of crazy, is that they have like 5 pocket watches in their pockets at all times.
Yeah.
Um,
Do they ever check them, or are they just there?
oh, it's kind of like they'll check one, but then some of the jobs will dictate on different clocks. So each clock is set to something different, or is tracking
Right,
something
okay.
else, or one is constantly being fiddled with because they're trying to fix it on the go. Yeah.
This
And,
poor guy hired the weirdest gang in the city.
After looking into Hectate's mask, after Pavel turns to you, almost has to like step back a bit from how bright everything is, but still shakes your hands, still very
Well-
gingerly.
Well, I for one think that manners are of the utmost importance. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm very excited about the possibilities of this contract.
Well, yes, so am I. I very much hope that I brought the right people on here. And Yelda turns to your character, and
So you see a tall, it's basically a man who's the opposite of me. He's tall, has blonde, curly hair, shoulder length, blue eyes. He's wearing a very finely cut silk velvet suit, and he has a cane with a cracked jewel in it. So his name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. Pronouns are he, him. He steps forward when Pavel offers a seat. He looks at it, takes out a silk handkerchief from his pocket, wipes down the seat, looks at it, sighs, puts it back, sits down. Charmed. Raphael, you can call me Raphael, and a cup of tea if you don't mind.
he says, I don't have a pot, unfortunately.
That's quite all right. Champagne will do.
Yeah, you got any snacks?
I'm sure I have some water around here somewhere. I can check the back.
Do you have blood?
I mean, sure, we all have blood of some description.
No, do you have blood bags? We'll need it for the surgery.
Oh, right, yes, the amputation, yes. Perhaps we can leave that until after you've done the job. Speaking of, and Pavel goes around the room and just kind of reminds himself, Raphael, his, Hectate, Ali. Okay. So, he swings around behind his desk again and takes out a paper from the drawer and slams it down. And it appears just to be a very technical drawing of the side of a quite grand-looking ship.
By the gods.
What do any of you know about the Leviathan hunter called the Scythe of Acheros?
They hunt the Leviathan?
Yes, it's true.
Well,
do I look like I'm the smarts here?
You don't.
I wouldn't have said anything of the sort.
Well, I'm familiar with the practice of Leviathan hunting, and but the name does not spark inspiration in my mind.
Well, it's a very new vessel. It's the jewel of Lord Strangford's ever-growing fleet. And a few months ago, it went on a rather routine voyage to extract from the Leviathan Zolrisha the Hidden Legion. But it disappeared during this voyage, only to a few days ago reappear drifting in the North Hook Channel. It was towed into the dock, most of its crew missing. And the authorities took over it very quickly, and there's all the information about it is being quashed. Now, a bunch of the families of the missing crew reached out to me to try and investigate, as what I do, but my methods unfortunately turned up very little. So the thing a lot of people don't know about my line of work is often that we seek outside resources if things cannot be handled, let's say, legally. Hence
So
why I
you're
brought you
lazy.
here, to bring at least bring a bit of closure to the families of the missing people. And I'm offering a coin to each of you if you can bring back any information. And if you find out anything else about what may have happened, then I'm willing to up that a bit.
Haunted ship. How predictable. The
Well, we
coin, you
don't
said.
we don't know it's haunted because we all know
Oh,
that
they're
ghosts aren't
always
real.
haunted. They're always haunted.
Here's
Uh,
everything's
This-
always haunted. You always say we don't know that it's haunted, then we go in there and there's a freaking ghost.
I have yet to see
Yes,
a ghost
they
on
are
any
very
of
nice.
our expeditions.
Oh, you don't.
And my friend, surely such refined crew as us here deserves a higher compensation.
Well, you said it yourself. You're hiring the professionals.
I would like
Yeah,
a sandwich.
You know, the payment would depend on the experience of the crew that I'll be hiring, and you're relatively new. Speaking of the gangs of Dustfall. But like I said, you can, depending on what you're able to find, I'm willing to part with more money if you can provide me more information than just the basics.
Well, of course, and we will be investigating thoroughly. Isn't that right,
So you're
everyone?
saying I could get
No
more
need to push our
sandwiches.
luck.
I will let you know that these suits are very expensive, and ectoplasm just completely ruins them, and blood. So I'm assuming the collateral is included.
Oh yes, it is, of course. Yeah,
Wonderful.
it wouldn't be fair otherwise.
Sorry, could I get the name of the ship again once more, just for my record?
The Scythe of Akaros.
Ah, I'm glad Hazel will remember that because I won't.
That's quite all right. I can leave you with some of my
Akaros,
documentation
Akaros.
if you would need it.
That is a very haunted name. Ships should have non-haunted names.
Well, you have to
agree.
take that up with Lord Strangford, I'm afraid.
Well, it is a hunting
But he's
ship.
stupid and doesn't have a sandwich. I will have a sandwich after this. That makes me better.
Yes, I will look for snacks. But I should warn that as I understand it, the ship is going to be moved quite soon, within the next couple of days. So this will have to happen most likely tomorrow.
Do you know how many days?
Difficult to say. Again, they're keeping things tight, but 2, I think. So this will most likely have to happen tomorrow evening.
Cool. Set my timer for 2 days.
Which one?
The one I will remember.
Oh,
You
okay.
always say
remember all
that,
of
and yeah.
There is one other thing that I'd be willing to pay more if you're able to tell me.
Mhm.
My twin sister, Novena, is an engineer aboard the Scythe of Akaros. And, well, I would very much like to know what happened, even if that means... If you don't find her, at least I would know what happened to her. You understand?
She
Of
died.
course.
Sandwich, please.
don't have
Hectic,
any
we don't
sandwiches.
know that.
Oh, but
Let us-
it's a haunted. But it's a haunted ghost ship with an evil haunted name. She
Look,
died.
we don't know it's haunted.
Exactly.
Well,
I apologize for my companion's rudeness. We usually don't bring them to these kind of meetings, but as you requested to meet everyone, this was on your fault. But yes, we are deeply sorry for the news about about your twin sister. And we'll do everything in our power to get that information for you.
I very much
course.
appreciate that, yes.
family's important.
So above the table again, back to me. Can't maintain the voice for that long, but hopefully
No,
this
it's
character's not going to be here that much longer. So now that we've done this kind of intro, obviously Pavel is still here. You can still ask him questions about what he turned up, but what we're going to do now is move into the gathering info section. So each of you is going to get the opportunity now to try and glean some information about, the ship or the security, how you might go about planning and executing this score. And then once we've done all that and built your plan, we can progress to actually executing it. So, does anybody have any ideas of what they would like to do?
So it is guarded, I
Oh.
assume, right?
Well, that's something you might want to find out.
I have an
Hecate.
idea.
Oh.
No, go ahead, Riley.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hecate will basically like try to commune with the spirits of those who have disappeared. If she's able to commune with them, then like that means they're probably all dead. If not, hey, that means there's a chance they're alive.
Okay. What are you when doing this? What are you trying to find out about setting up your score?
Basically, when doing this, I want to see, is there anything supernatural involved, and if so, what is it like? How should I prepare for it?
Okay. Okay. So, where do you want to go? I mean, I assume you probably want to go down to the docks because where the ship is sold
Yeah.
up to do this. That's okay. So, as a whisper, you are very proficient at looking into the ghost field. So, for people watching, the ghost field kind of permeates the entirety of Dosful in this world, and shows, by people who are skilled in looking at it, shows where spirits and other things have influenced the, it's kind of like overlays everything and can tell you where the spirits have been, where they've affected things, and where spirits are or have been recently show up much more brightly in the ghost field than other things.
I'm going ghost.
And Riley, as a whisper, you will be equipped with a spirit mask, which helps you out a great deal when looking into the ghost field as well.
That's the mask I'm wearing.
So you see when you make it down to the docks, you see the site of Akaros, and you see a lot of dock workers and some of the security that you're sure is milling around the ship as well. And when you look into the ghost field, you start seeing, you see quite a lot of spirits kind of drifting around in the distance. People do drown at sea occasionally. Why don't you roll me an attune?
Ooh, a tune.
Yeah.
I have two dots in that.
So you'll be controlled position, and your effect will be greater because of your spirit mask.
Nice. Input value. Do I have any bonus dice? Is that the two dots or?
So it'll be 0 for now. You can add bonus dice by pushing yourself or taking a devil's bargain.
Oh,
but
okay.
if you're not doing that, then just leave it as 0. Okay, you got a 5 with a greater effect. So you're going to figure out quite a lot here. So I think
Woo!
when you look into the ghost fields, you see a bright shape materialize somewhere near you as what looks like the spirit of a fisherman sitting on the end of the pier nearby, still casting a ghostly rod into the water.
Oh, hey, Harold.
Oh, Hectate, it's been a while since you've been down by the docks. How you been?
Yes. Stealing.
Oh, you still like that? Well, I've been fishing, so we're both doing what we know. What can I help you with?
Have you seen that ship that just came in? What's the name of the ship, GM?
The Scythe of Akaros.
Have you heard of this ship, the Scythe of Akaros? Is it
all
all ghosty?
Yeah, don't talk to me about that. It's
wait, you'll know something?
Well, that's just the thing. You expect a ship like that, harvesting electroplasm, going all over it, and they say that the crew's all missing. You think that's going to be strong, right? It's going to be bright, but there's nothing. It's empty.
Nothing.
No
Whoa.
ghost field. It's almost like it's there's nothing. There's no spirits at all. I haven't seen not a thing.
So you're saying, is it possible that someone there nommed the ghost field?
Well, if that's possible, I don't really want to go anywhere near it. You see what I mean?
No, yes, I understand. That would definitely have a negative impact on the trout population.
But what I will say is, since all those Navy officers came up from Imperial City and started, running around that ship, it's become a lot more, noticeable. But yeah, I'd be careful about them. If you're thinking of going over there, they're not right letting people up onto the ship, willy nilly.
Right. Thank you, Harold. This has been most informative.
It's no problem. I'll see you around. I'll let you know if I catch anything.
You won't, but sure.
And you see Harold fade out as you shift your vision out of the ghost field again.
So, a not haunted ship that's so not haunted it goes all the way back around to being haunted. Curious.
Yeah. So just a summary here. Again, we found out here is that all of the spirits you might expect to be around the ship of missing crew aren't there, and that there's almost like a negative space in the ghost field around it.
Yeah.
But that there's also a bunch of naval officers that have come up from Imperial City that are on the ship.
Good to know. I guess I relay this to the rest of the crew.
On the ship or around the ship?
Both.
So the ship is in the custody of the city officials.
Yeah, the Imperial Navy in
and
particular.
and we are basically people are barred from getting on it for some reason.
Can I try and get an idea of what the guard situation is by probably myself having a little meander around the area where the ship is, trying to get an idea of who is a guard and who's not and all of that kind of thing. But also, I have a trained hunting pet.
Mm-hmm.
My hunting pet is called
Ooh.
Snuggles.
Snuggles?
They are an owl,
Ooh.
and I want to send them up to sort of get a bird's eye view of the whole thing and try and just get some kind of idea of if there's any rota or patrols of guards, that kind of thing, so that we can work out when's best to go in.
Absolutely. Why don't you roll me a survey? Again, control position with greater effect thanks to your...
How do I change the position and effect in the character sheet?
So when you click on survey...
Oh, will it come up and... Oh, there we go. Yeah. Control.
Yay.
And standard effect, was it?
Greater effect thanks to your...
Greater effect.
Thanks to Snuggles.
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 You got a 6.
Yay.
In complete success, you get a great amount of information. So the docks themselves, you see, are being guarded by bluecoats, the Doskful, jackbooted. Basically, the biggest gang in Doskful, as it were. But they aren't on the ship itself. Your Snuggles is able to see that. Mostly the people on the ship are the Imperial Navy sailors and officers, and they are kind of coordinating all the people who are actually on the vessel. But what you're able to get with your excellent roll here is that there's also a vice admiral who has traveled up from Imperial City for this.
Ooh.
You can see her on the ship and all of her kind of medals and decorations, marking her out as one of the highest members of the Imperial Navy is here for
Big
this.
deal, this ship. Big deal. I like the idea that Snuggles only barely understands any communication, so it's there with on her arm, and she's just on the ship, the big thing, and they're nodding on, shaking her head, on the ground, no, on the ship, no. It takes half an hour just to relay all the information.
I think while Snuggles is circling around and trying to figure out what you're asking, you notice that there seems to be every so often new people arrive to the ship and go up, and the Vice Admiral talks to them and kind of sends them away to do things. So you kind of also can gather that the Vice Admiral is selecting new crew as well.
I'm gonna head over to Raphael once I learn this and kind of relay what I've learned and be like, "You got any Imperial Navy uniforms in that disguise box or whatever it is you keep?"
Of course I do. What kind of question is that?
Well, I think that this Vice Admiral just might like a couple of new faces on that ship.
That sounds like a plan. In turn, I'd like to go and visit a brothel that I've been frequenting, not to partake in services, mind you, but just to play poker with the girls there. Which I've made a few friends, especially my dear friend Nirix, one of the working girls there. Because, well, I'm sure all the Navy officers frequent places like that, and I would like to ask if she's spent some time with some of them, or if she does, to ask her to get some information about what's going on there, maybe the guard schedule, and what exactly they're looking on that ship. Why so much attention from the Imperial Navy?
Okay, sure. I think when you arrive at the brothel, Nirix is midway through a game with her friends this evening, and she looks up and says, "Raphael,
Oh,
you
Nerix,
come
my
here,
love.
take a seat."
You look wonderful. You look absolutely stunning. I'm so glad to see you.
It's been such a long while. Come on, do you want me to deal you in the next round?
Sure, of course. Why not?
Lovely, lovely. So, I hate to suggest that you only come see me because you need something, but is there a reason for this particular visit?
Oh, you know me so well, my darling. Of course,
Oh,
I love you
it's part
dearly.
of my job, dear.
Oh. Well, we understand each other. So, have you heard about this ship that suddenly appeared in the docks that attracted a lot of attention from the Imperial Navy? So, I was wondering if maybe one of your patrons belongs to the Imperial Navy, and we can find out some information from them.
Okay, Raphael, can you please roll me a consort? It'll be a controlled position, and because you're you are consorting here with your friends who you've marked out as your favorite contact, you're also going to get greater effect on this roll.
Great effect. Okay. No bonuses, I assume?
No, just those.
Understood. Here we go. Oof.
Okay. So you have rolled 3, so that roll it has failed, but you have greater effect on the roll.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get some kind of middling position between a fail and a mixed pass here. So Neric says, "Well, yeah, a few of the officers have been around here, been mixing with some of the girls, but I haven't personally had any dealings with them. But you know, they talk a bit, and you pick up bits and pieces. You know, what I did hear is that they're spreading the official story as crew was lost in a storm due to choppy seas. But that makes no sense. There hasn't been weather like that out in the Voice Sea recently. They're lying, and they're trying to cover up whatever it is may have happened. But I did hear something. This is something else. Apparently, the ship was off course from the Leviathan it was tracking. Off course for quite a while, as I hear. And that certainly was not scheduled. The captain must have agreed to this, but I'm sorry, dear, I can't tell you why.
That is quite all right, my dear. That is plenty of information. I'm, as always, grateful for your help. And we play some more, and I lose on purpose to her.
Nerix is also trying to like lose to give you back some of your cash, but it doesn't work, and you keep losing worse, and she keeps taking all your money.
I stop at a reasonable point, thank her, kiss her on the cheek, and go back to my crew and leave information. Unfortunately, I was not able to find a lot, but sounds like they were the very of course, and we don't know what, but I'm assuming it is connected to what's going on here. I was hoping to find at least a schedule, a guard change, and things like that. I was not able to do so.
Well, it's information. That's what it is. Information, very useful.
So I think
Indeed.
his plan for preparation is to also go down the docks, explicitly avoiding Hectate. Not with them, not with them, not with them. To go and see the shipyard and see if I can get hold of the blueprints for this ship from the designer and the builders. So I have an idea of what I'm going to be technically faced with on the internals of the ship, in terms of like bulkheads, locks, that kind of thing. That's my area of expertise. Is like, what could I do? And also maybe find an alternative way in. So I think his likes these kind of people, technical people. They're very mechanically driven, which is what is his thing. They love mechanics and how things are built. So probably has a bit of a relationship with like the shipwright, and it's like,
Sure.
My friends, I was walking down the docks today, and I saw that rather marvelous Leviathan Hunter ship, the Scythe of Akaros. Simply beautiful.
Yes, it's quite a specimen. Lord Strangford has a lot of very specific designs for the ship, and well, I dare say we did good work on that one.
Oh, have you still got the designs?
I'm gonna ask you here to please roll me a controlled standard effect, please.
You got this.
Is it consort? Or can I do sway?
Argue with me for sway. Why do you think you're more deceiving than you are just talking to somebody?
Sway someone with charm. What I'm doing here is making this guy feel good about his work, you know? It's a marvelous ship. It's beautiful. I'm fascinated by its beauty and its genius, rather than like what might be consort, which is like, this isn't my heritage or my background. This is just an attempt to get something out of someone by charming them with flattery.
So as distinct from where Raphael went, which was just talking to a friend and just having a nice conversation and getting information, you were trying to butter him up a bit and kind of, yeah. I'll take that then. I'm happy for you to roll sway in that case.
Thank God, I've got to die in that.
And just for information for everybody, you are allowed to do that if you wish. If you think that I'm wrong about what roll you should make, suggest what you think you should, and then argue with me, and I'll happily change my mind. So, same position effect, control standards, sway.
Woo!
That is a 6. Okie dokie. So you pretty much get the whole shebang. Your pal here is immensely proud of the work they've done on the side of Akaros and wants to share it with everybody who asks. And digs out the full blueprints that they used when they were making it, and shows you not just the kind of technical stuff, but the full layout of where everything was placed on the ship, all the different decks, where everything was kind of constructed into it. So I have, this might be a bit of quite a lot of information here, but we can obviously refer back to this during the score. So the outer part of the ship, the outer deck, is pretty much where the electroplasm is stored in big tanks, and you have like the rowing boats and stuff. But most of the action inside Leviathan Hunter happens below that on the inside. So the main deck is where the officers and the masters of the various workshops have their quarters and their dining hall. And at the back of the main deck is where the captain's cabin, as well as the communications section are. You see that marked out communications array, which seems odd because you don't really know what that means. The next deck down, the Orlop deck, is where all the rest of the sailors, the sort of, all the people who run the various parts of the ship and to do the actual Leviathan extracting, the chum, all have their quarters and their mess hall down there, rec rooms and all of that. But also that is where the navigation, which is where someone actually steers the ship and makes sure it's going the right way at the right speed. And the augury, which is where the people who are really, really excited about demons and Leviathans track the Leviathan they're looking for. And below that is the harvest deck. So that's where the Leviathan parts and blood are taken onto the ship, and electroplasm is extracted from it and processed, and either passed throughout the ship or put into the storage tanks to be brought back to the city.
Do the ships have... So when you go Leviathan hunting, does the Leviathan get consumed by the ship, right? Does it open up and then the bodies get put into the ship, or...
So what happens mostly is that the people assigned as the chum on the group, like the lowest, it's kind of like the lowest rung, except that people don't necessarily treat them poorly because their job is considered pretty much the most important, almost to like a religious degree. They go out of the ship and kind of latch on to the Leviathans and will basically just tear bits off them.
Okay.
And bring those back into the ship, or even just punch in and take blood and extract it, take it off. Very, very dangerous job.
Okay.
So the harvest deck is where those bits are brought for extraction.
So there's no like way for me to sneak under the ship and through the bottom of it?
Not necessarily through the bottom, but there are plenty of hatches on the side of the ship that will take you in at lower decks rather than just over the top.
Cool.
So you see that there's a couple of hatches at the Orlop deck level, so like the middle, that you can access as well. And there's plenty of, what you're looking at them, bulkheads throughout the decks just to contain leaks and things like that.
Yeah, I kind of, with that information, prepare the gear I'm going to need to get through any of these if they're locked or stuck or whatever. Obviously, I share this with the team.
Yeah, with your I did note here you got 6, so you do get some extra bits of information here. There is a cargo hold on the ship as well on the harvest deck, which seems to have been built a particularly large section of it. But you get some information about the communications of it. Your friend from the docks says is happy to regale you with this information. They even installed this state-of-the-art communication system. Apparently, the wizards who built this thing are able to send pulses of electroplasmic energy over enormous distances, so that it can be intercepted and interpreted by people at the other end. So it can be used to kind of track positions, and it's how we know that the idea is that we'll know where the ship is at any given time and know if they're on course. Particularly, it doesn't. I've heard some rumors about why this vessel in particular might have gone off course, but it's not for me to say.
Oh, such a shame. You wouldn't happen to know where those signals are intercepted, would you?
I think there is a receiver more into the port that is taken. The people who control the manifests and things need to have that information so they know when the ship will be returning with the electroplasm. But also other ships with these experimental arrays can also receive each other's communications as well.
Fascinating. Quite brilliant, actually. I'm excited to maybe see these when they are publicly available.
It's good to know how they work. I just built them to the specifications and shipped it away.
Well, you must have done quite a fantastic job to build something you don't understand.
Well, well, thank you for what seems mostly like a compliment to his. And I look forward to your next visit.
Oh yes. If you need anything repaired, next time you stop by my shop, it's free.
Don't make promises like that, because you know how I will always collect.
Well, looking at the time, I must go. I have a tea appointment.
Okay. Where do you all?
Oh yeah, it's tea
regroup?
time.
Do you want to go back to Pavel's office, or do you want to go to your own lair? Which I don't think we've talked about, but where do you regroup to make your plan?
I think our own lair would be ideal as long as it's not
Hectate
like
will just go where
super
everyone
far.
else is.
Yeah, I don't think we'd go there if it's like the other side of the city to the docks, but if it's relatively close, then yeah.
Sure. Yeah. What is it exactly that you like? Where is it? I mean, you've got the map there. Like, where do you regroup?
Yeah, we didn't actually decide where it was going to be, did we?
Did not.
So,
Because you're shadows, you probably want your place to be fairly well hidden.
I have a pitch for our base.
Go on.
His has a watch shop, a watch and repair shop that they use as an actual business to keep them occupied in their spare time when they're not studying. They do a lot of things. They get very bored. And perhaps it's a front for our lair, is that behind the shop, behind the workshop, or like underneath it, we have this place that we can meet. But it also has a bunch of obnoxious clocks on the wall. Have you seen that bit from Back to the Future?
Yes.
Where at the opening, where there's all those clocks on the wall and there's like all these mechanisms and like stupid inventions. That's what the base is. It's like it's a cleared out bit of basement where it's like, oh, I can move things out the way. It'll be fine. There'll be loads of space, and everyone moves down like, what is any of this?
Yeah, I think
that's what I was thinking anyway. Was that having some kind of shop?
Every time Hectate go ahead.
No, just like if we had some kind of legitimate business, like
every time Hectate enter.
Go on, Riley.
There you go.
Y'all are cutting out a lot, so.
Oh, it's okay.
So every time Hectate enters the lair and the clocks are like actively ticking, she's going to like try and open up each clock face and stop the ticking. Like just grab a hold of the minute and hour hands and just like stop that. You're being very loud.
And every single time one of us is like, no.
Please, I spent months on that one.
Yeah, Raphael doesn't care any of that. He insisted that we have at least some decent furniture there, a big mirror just for himself.
I will like have a pair of large earmuffs that I just keep on me, and every time we go into the lair, I'm like, Hectate, here you go, and I just like plop them on their head.
I've been working.
Hectate accidentally breaks off one of the hour hands.
I've been working on silent
Hopefully this
clocks.
wasn't important.
This is a great experiment, right? If I can make these clocks quieter, Hectate won't break my months of work.
Yeah, I think you're being too optimistic. I think you're being too optimistic, my friend. But we'll see, I guess. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, so you've made it back to your lair. You've dealt with the legions of clocks. That all seem to be everyone's enemy except his. And you're going to hatch yourself a plan. So, with all the information that you've gathered about the ship and the people around it, how would you like to approach this?
So we're definitely dressing up as the Navy officers.
Well, we've got two options. We've got that, and we've got break in the side hatches.
And we
That's
do
always-
not all need to take the same entrance.
This
Yeah,
is
we can
true.
do both. Both will
Yeah.
work.
Both is good.
You
Yeah,
don't, no.
It is probably better if
You can
I.
split the party if you wish.
It is probably if I go on one of the hidden entrances.
Yes, I would rather.
I am not very photogenic.
Most
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of
unfortunately,
that.
most unfortunately, I believe the best pairings are Raphael and Alison and his and Hectate.
This is gonna go so
I
wrong.
put my hand on his shoulder. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's gonna be fine.
Yo, we're going to be buddies. Also, here is that clock hand I broke off, and she like hands you a pile of like 15 clock hands.
Yeah, you can fix those hairs, can't you? You're always with this kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't fix them. That's the thing. I can always fix what's broken.
We can make
Um,
abstract art from it.
Now that I like.
I think there are 3 targets. I believe from my examination of the ship, the communication array, which is on the upper deck, which I will have to leave to the 2 of you, because you'll be most likely to be able to get in with your disguises.
Okay, well, what's that when it's at home?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Right.
It seems to be some sort of state-of-the-art relay device. Imagine, have you ever used those string and cups as children?
Once.
Okay,
I once
imagine
saw
the
a dead
string
squirrel as a child.
is a space, and it's electroplasm being thrown across space between 2 cups, which are 2 ships.
Well, that seems like a create a mighty eggy mess on your face.
Those were all words that some of them I understood.
Okay, so imagine this piece of paper as the space between 2 people, and we are really far away at the ends of the paper. And I fold the paper in half, and I put a pencil through it. The communication array allows you to break through.
Can we go the normal
This is
way
fascinating.
by talking to people using our legs and not doing whatever this is?
But that's the thing. This communication array allows them to communicate with other ships as well as a control center here in Duskfall.
Well, why didn't you say that in the first place?
So if they went off course or received new orders,
You can't
find
talk
out.
with legs. They're the mouths.
Okay.
That's a good point. You
the
can't talk with legs, Raphael. You gotta be more careful what you say.
secondary objective on that floor would be the
I can,
captain's
though.
quarters. The captain's quarters would quite likely have good information. On the secondary deck, which is where me and Hectate will be, is a navigation area, and also the augury. Is that how you said it? Augury.
Augury, yeah.
The augury, where they track the Leviathan that they were hunting. And finally, on the bottom floor, and it might just be a race to who gets there first, there is a large cargo bay, which is suspiciously large for a Leviathan ship.
You think there's something in there?
Yes, I believe that something that is not a Leviathan might be in there.
And something that a vice admiral
Maybe
might be
the thing that
interested in.
it might also be the thing that led to there being no ghosts around the ship.
There are no ghosts in general, so that's not a surprise.
That's what you think.
We're gonna have an arguments about that.
I
can't wait.
Literally,
I have
seen ghosts, and
I have literally summoned ghosts. I know I'm a bit loopy, but that's the loopiness right there.
we all have our all coping mechanisms.
Yes, yours are clocks that I break.
So, I think we have a plan here. So you want to have 2 people in navy uniforms go up the proper way over the ship, and 2 people break in to a side entrance. makes
Yeah.
it slightly tricky because that means you're essentially trying to execute two different types of entryway, just both a deception
Exactly.
entry point with the people in the disguises and a stealth one for the infiltration.
We do like to make
Thankfully,
your
They
life
can't catch
hard.
all of us.
Yeah, but thankfully during the gathering info, you did get the information necessary to do both.
Yes.
Okay, so small problem. I've just remembered I didn't give my character prowl at all.
Yo.
It's fine. You're
I
just
have
going to have
one.
to group action it with someone who has
Yeah.
power.
Mm.
Hector, you have prowl, right? You sure do, don't you?
Well, I mean, I have 3 points in prowl, so
Thank God.
I think
Oh,
we're
you'll be
good.
fine.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Okay, yeah, that'll do.
So let's do the engagement roll then. So the engagement roll is basically I get a bunch of dice together. This is going to be the only roll I do with actual dice because I don't have a function for it on the character sheets. If there is one, I don't know how to use it. But essentially, you start with one die, and then I go through these kind of options and see how well you've kind of put together this plan. And the more kind of the stronger it is, the more dice you'll get. And then I'll roll them, and it basically controls how good a starting position you have. And if by some miracle I roll double 6 on this, you also get to skip your first obstacle as well.
Ooh,
Woo.
So you get one die for luck.
nice odds.
Then, is this operation particularly bold or daring? I'm going to say yes, because you're going up against the Imperial Navy.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an extra die for that.
Chris,
but
can I
will say
offer
this-
you a 50 for a nice roll?
I mean, if we're willing to come up with a very quick additional donation incentive for fudging the engagement roll up a little bit, then it's for
Come on,
for
order
AKT,
team.
so-
You know what to do. Hashtag get on the ship.
does the plan's detail, which is the method of deception and the point of infiltration, expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? So I think with all the information you got about the actual layout of the ship, you know where everything is, probably even better than the Navy, who only been here a short while. So I think you're going to get the extra die for that as well. And I think looking at this, that's what you're going to get for this. So you're going to have 3 dice for your engagement roll. So that is a 6. Actually, I rolled a 4, a 5, and a 6 on that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. You can see that. That was the roll. So, with a success on a 6, you start in a control position. So basically, meaning those of you who are infiltrating, there's no one there who has noticed you. You are fully free to just go for it. And the people who are taking the deception route, nobody's batting an eye. The blue coats just let you past because they're expecting people in naval uniforms to be going up to the ship.
Nice.
Make it
We
till
could
you
do
make
so
it.
much mischief.
Yeah, I had a good time. I wanted to get onto the score at an hour, and we've managed it. So
Yay!
Woo!
Good timing.
Yeah.
let's try to think which group. So with the split we're doing here is we have Raphael and Ali going up in uniforms.
Yes.
So why don't we start with the two of you then? As you approach, there's a ramp heading down from the outer deck down to the pier. And you can see some people in naval uniforms at the top of the ramp on the deck. Sorry, I've missed something here. There's one tiny little extra thing we need to do before we start this. Everyone has to choose what loads they're taking with them. So I've mentioned this to all the players here, but I should do this for the stream as well. You can take a light, medium, or heavy load, which essentially the main difference is how much you can carry, but how noticeable it will be. And you don't have to choose what you're carrying with you at this point. Whenever you get a situation where you think something on that list would be useful, you can say, I've got this with me. And then that's when you mark down what you actually have. So everyone pick your loads. And now that we're getting the score underway, I'll remind people who are watching that you can donate to help or hinder our players. A treat to give them a push themselves for a roll for free, or if you're feeling a bit spooky, you can give them a trick and take away one of their die if you'd like.
Ooh,
Spice it
give
up.
away your
You all want us to
die.
succeed. Oh, you.
Make my life
That's good.
difficult, chat. Come on, please. I'm
Yeah,
entertaining
go
when I'm
for
losing.
Prove ghosts exist. You are the ghost.
It's utterly ridiculous for someone in Duskull to not believe in ghosts.
I know.
I know, but that's great, especially when you have a
There's a
whisper on the
big
team.
electric barrier around the city, specifically there to prevent ghosts from getting in.
But I've never met a ghost.
It's
This
such
probably
a
has
stance to
some-
take.
Yeah.
It probably has some very, very convoluted explanation to what's going on in all these fields. Right?
His has
Look, the
explicitly
reason we
met
have
ghosts.
the reason
And
there's
he
an
doesn't think they're
electric fence
ghosts.
around the city is to hide the fact that the world is flat. I think we all know that.
There's definitely some conspiracy going on here, and
If
his is on spit.
you keep going out there into the wastelands, there's a big ice. You get to a big ice wall. Right?
Oh, yo, that's some deep flat earther lore.
Yeah.
It's making
I
global
just
warming
say,
so much
for the
worse because we're
stream,
all
I'm
going to
not a
drown.
photographer, I just want to clarify that. I just watched things about their beliefs.
Oh yeah, my
That's
dad's
what
like
you
a
want us to
border-
think. Yeah.
My dad's a borderline conspiracy theorist, so I know a good amount of this stuff.
It should be worth mentioning just in case because someone in chat is pointing this out. We should not kill anyone because the moment we kill someone, the ghost police show up, and we've already got
Yeah,
two security
so-
forces on this ship.
Oh, I didn't know
There's a
that.
bit of lore there.
There's a
The
ghost
spirit
police?
The spirit wardens are there to make sure that anybody who dies, their spirit doesn't leave their body and cause havoc. So they collect the body and destroy it so that the spirit doesn't start haunting people. They are
Huh.
very powerful and very scary. And a big cloud of ravens will come flying around a dead body to tell them where the body is. So if you kill somebody,
We've got a
they'll
treat.
know.
We got a
You
treat.
got a
Yay.
treat.
Ooh,
Callum,
got
you get an
treats.
extra die.
One treat for his. Next time you make a roll, you may push yourself for free.
I wonder who that's come from.
Given that you specifically asked people to hinder you, I think this is someone's having a bit of fun here. Yes,
Reverse
back
psychology.
to where we were. Ali and Raphael are making their way up the ramp.
Yeah, so we have very pristine uniforms, well pressed. You know.
Yeah, and the people you meet up there are also look very well put together. Their uniforms are immaculate as well.
Yeah, I give
Yeah,
them
the
very
two-
stern nods as we pass them.
The two guarding the ramp kind of nod back and they don't make any motion. But when you get onto the deck, you see two individuals who take notice. A very tall, quite well-built woman with her hair tied back in a ponytail strides over. You can see a saber attached to her waist and a pistol in a holster. And this Alison you saw earlier is the Vice Admiral. You recognize her
Oh, great.
her outfit. There's lots of medals and decorations all over. And the person who she brings over with her, also very decorated, not so much as her, but is a man who's only very slightly shorter than her, with dark skin and a big bushy moustache that's curled at the ends. Wearing obviously navy uniform, slightly different designation. And as they come up to you, the Vice Admiral looks at the two of you and says, I don't recall asking for additional support here. We have enough people on the ship already. May I ask what it is you're doing here?
I give a sharp salute. Yes, sir, Admiral, sir. We've been transferred here from the
Vice Admiral, not quite
Vice
yet.
Admiral. Yes, sir. Vice Admiral, sir. We've been transferred here just an hour ago to reinforce.
I certainly didn't give the order. Commander Moritz, was this you? And the man next to her just kind of shakes his head. So who exactly asked you to be here?
I'm afraid that is above our pay grade, sir.
Raphael, can you please give me a sway? You are in a control position because that's where you started.
Can I help him in any way by just nodding vigorously?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do to up your?
I mean, this is an important role, so maybe I'll push.
Sure. If you, Alison, is there anything else you say to kind of support your position?
I think I could sort of back him up and just be like, well, you see, sometimes people get sick or people need some time off, and that's when we come in. We're what you may call supply soldiers. Yep, that's us.
She gives you a quizzical look when you say that, but I'm
speech.
I'm gonna allow this. So
you can see that Raphael is trying not to grow, and he has a very tight jaw.
Alison, mark off a point of stress for the assists.
Yes.
Okay. And Raphael, you say you wanted to push yourself as well, or are you going to leave?
Which will give us 2 dice in total, +2?
Yeah. So you'll be control position, standard effect with 2 bonus die.
Indeed. Let's see. Got a 5.
5.
And that is 1 stress?
2 stress to push yourself.
2 stress.
Yeah. 5. Oof. You kind of hope with 5 dice that you get a 6 in there, but sometimes stuff like this happens. Okay. With a 5, so I guess now we're getting into the score. I can kind of explain for people at home. When you roll your dice and blaze, you take the highest number that you roll as your result. If you roll 1, 2, or 3, then you are considered to have failed the roll, and you don't manage to do what you're doing, and you get some kind of negative consequence as a result. If you roll a 4 or 5, you succeed at what you're trying to do, but you also get a consequence as a result of that. It's a mixed success. And if you roll a 6, then you just do what you're trying to do, and that's it. If you roll 2 6s, then you also get bonuses, but that hasn't happened yet. But we'll get to that one if it ever does. So with a 5, she says, "Well, this is quite irregular. We're keeping as you might understand, we're keeping quite a, pardon the phrase, tight ship around here, and it is curious to me that some people would make their way onto the ship without myself being informed."
Bureaucracy. I'm sorry.
Go about your business, but Commander Moritz, please escort our new friends here. So you're on the ship. They're not going to kick you off or draw weapons, but for the time being, Commander Moritz is going to accompany you, and that is your consequence.
Great.
Sir, yes, sir.
Sir.
And she nods and then walks off to some other members of the Navy who are elsewhere on the ship. With that, how about we skip over to our other entry point?
Yay.
So Hector and his. There are ramps going up to the other entry points in the ship, but they're not all open. So there's these hatches that lead into the orlop deck that you can also walk up to, but they are shut as it is right now. But no one's seen you. or if they have, they didn't take any notice.
I would like
Or-
to use some fine tinkering tools to jimmy the hatches on one of these doors that are locked and try and get in that way.
And
I was going to use my ghost key, but that works too. Go ahead.
well, this always gives us a backup in case this doesn't work. So I think this would probably qualify as a wreck. because
Okay,
you're
I'll
trying
use my
to-
fine wrecking tools then.
You are essentially trying to break the door, not in a lock-picking way, but in a I'm going to jimmy it open. As I understand it, you also have the saboteur ability.
Nope, I changed it to artificer.
You changed it. Okay, well, what
Ooh,
did you?
ooh.
What is it you have now? Just for my.
I have the artificer, which means that I have a gadget that at some point I will flash back to get.
Okay.
It
As
passes
it is,
butter.
then you if you do break this open, then someone might notice later. But we'll get to that.
No, it's okay. Do you want to try and use your magic key?
Okay. And she's going to use the ghost key on it. I don't know what the ghost key does, but it sounds useful.
So ghost key, I think a lot of these items are kind of up to interpretation. What I think of a ghost key is essentially if you find something that is being concealed or locked inside the ghost field, you would be able to access it. So it kind of lets you access spirit things that were otherwise kind of locked out.
So I
But-
can't use the ghost key to
No,
lockpick this.
it's still, I think it's still open to interpretation exactly what it is. So it could be that it's a kind of spectral key of some kind that can be morphed into whatever it needs to.
Yeah, that's what I was I thought it was like a ghost skeleton key. That was my interpretation.
What I could say then is that you can use this as like an additional tool to assist on this in this wreck.
Okay.
To try and
So
help.
would I take stress?
Yeah. So why don't you take me a stress to use your ghost key, and his you'll get controlled position, a wreck with a control position, because you're using fine wrecking tools, greater effect, and an
And not
additional
only-
die from the assist as well.
Yeah. Also, you get another additional die from the
Yes,
gift.
you do get. Yes, of course. Thank you for
So
reminding me.
don't
Harry.
forget
Yes, you have. You've been given extra die by a wonderful donator in the chat. So
Can we choose when we use those, or do we need to apply to the? Oof! Oh.
well, there's a
oh,
4 in
my.
there. There are 3 ones.
Thank
But
goodness
there
for
is
that
a 4
tree.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, 4.
At some
right?
point, the good rolls are going to start coming, right?
£5 well spent that was.
This
But
is
you
a
rolled
big
success
oof.
with a greater effect, which again it kind of toes the line between mixed and complete success. So this works. The two of you, between the ghost key and your skills at wrecking through a door, you were able to kind of force the lock on this door open, and it just kind of swings outwards. But when this happens and when the door swings open, you maybe feeling quite satisfied with yourself. Part of the locking mechanism just falls off and falls straight into the river.
Well, don't
Oh, no.
worry. I've got a plan.
So I'm going to. Well, your consequence for this, given you did get a mixed success, is I'm going to start a clock, which is a mechanic in this game whereby the clock starts ticking, and every so often, if there's a consequences for whatever reason, I can add ticks to the clock, and when it fills in, something happens. So the clock is going to be the broken lock is found.
So the lock has fallen into the water, right?
Yes, but the door is still broken.
The door's still open. So
Mhm.
once we get inside, I'm going to use some binding oil to fuse the door back closed.
Will the door still be visibly missing its lock, though?
So what I think you can do here is maybe we can make this a resistance. So this is something that you can do if there's a consequence to your actions that you'd rather not have, you can try and resist the consequence. So if you roll a prowess resistance, because prowess is the roll you're using here, I think I'll give you an extra die for thinking to use the binding oil as well. Then if you take the resistance, then I can ignore this and not start that clock. But for every point below 6 you roll, you'll take a stress.
Yeah. Well, it's a one shot.
Yeah.
Oh!
Nice.
Yeah!
Incredible. That you just do this. You just don't even think. I think his just does this immaculately, and the door is just closed.
Seeing that, Hectate's gonna give a little clap. Well done! Well done!
Even to the trained eye, it doesn't look broken. So
they're fine.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
We're good. We're good.
So you're now inside on the Orlop deck, and straight away when you're in, you see a map on the wall showing you are here. Here's what's around you, and kind of has a reminder of what's in the decks. So it's not like a secret here. Now that you're here, you can be reminded of all of that.
I think that our best bet is to go to the augury first to see if they really were tracking a Leviathan.
Agreed. But first, Angie's going to hit a button on her mask, and that's going to activate the ghost vision.
Okay. If you look into the ghost field here, what your conversation with Harold has confirmed that you don't see anything. It's actually quite eerie because you're used to seeing a lot of imprints of Duskfall just kind of overlaid over everything, but you're looking at basically nothing.
Not even imprints. We need to be careful.
You can see some very faint outlines of the Navy officers up on top on the outer deck, but inside where you are, you're not seeing anything.
Does that mean there's no one on this floor?
Other than the two of you, that's correct, yes.
Nice.
Oh!
Oh, that makes things easy.
This makes things so much easier. I was panicking that we're going to have to sneak around. We don't have to do that now.
I mean,
Yeah,
I was just...
everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was just going to use my natural charm.
Then I think we head for the augury then. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what should we do here? I'm trying to think about whether we skip back and forwards. Let's go back to our friends up top.
So what's going on? We're allowed in, but we're escorted.
Yeah, you're allowed in, but you're being escorted by Commander Dante Moritz, who once you're with him back down onto the main deck, which is the first one you'll come to, relaxes quite a lot when he's out of view of Vice Admiral Magellanica. And it's just kind of, he says to you, I'm not really too pleased about this station either. I don't really want to be here, keeping an eye on you, but seeing as it is that way, go about your business, and I'll probably leave you be at some points, but I don't want her upstairs to know that, And honestly, I would be more willing to thank you for coming to help us out here, but orders are orders.
Well, of course, the Vice Admiral can be quite a hard ass, if you know what I mean.
She can be, but she's good at what she does. There's a reason she got there, but man, I wish she would give us a break every now and then.
Micromanagement.
So, what were your orders exactly?
We were sent here to reinforce and to just fill in the blanks
We were told you would tell us what our orders were, sir.
Oh,
Whatever you need doing.
Give us the job that you don't want to do.
okay. I'm going to call here for a group sway.
So do we both roll?
Yeah, so one person can choose to be the leader for this role out of the two of you.
I have sway 3.
I was gonna say it better be you.
So the thing about these kind of roles, it doesn't really matter who has the better stat in it. What matters more is who's more stressed, because the way group
Right.
roles work is everyone who's involved in the role makes the check, and you take the highest roll of everybody as your overall result. But the leader will take a point of stress for everyone who fails.
Okay. I believe I only took 1, but you've taken 2 stress, right?
I've taken 2, yes.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
I guess I can lead.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're the one who's had this idea with trying to.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
It's fine. Not my
Okay,
wheelhouse,
so
but it's fine.
I will be directing from the shadow.
So yeah, can you both roll me a sway risky position now because you are being watched quite closely.
I have 0 dice. This is gonna go
with
so badly.
The effect?
Standard.
Yeah, standard effect. Let's roll the dice.
Okay, so you have a 5. So that is your result. And
I take
both succeeded.
Alison, take a point of stress for your own fail.
Yeah. I have 0 dice, so I'm taking the lower dice.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Oh, right.
So the 5 and the 3 is actually a 3. Okay. He says, "Oh, I feel like nobody tells me anything about this. We were brought in here into this ship in such a rush. But
Well, that makes sense. I mean, nobody's told us anything either. We're coming in here blind as a bat.
That's just serving in the Navy, sir.
well, I have some understanding of some of the duties here. Would the two of you mind having a look at that communications room? We want to know if anything was sent to the ship or back. You see, what we do know is that the ship was way off course and stopped for quite a long time, and we want to know if any communications were sent to anywhere who might have been able to pick them up. So it's on the communications arrays at the other end of the ship on this deck. So go and check that out and report back. Don't take too long, though. We need to get this information to the Vice Admiral as quick as we can.
Right away, sir.
So the result you're going to get here is he is going to leave you with these orders. So you get that. And he's sent you to the communications array. But I am going to start a clock this time. I'm going to start one of these eventually. You can't stop. And the clock is going to be...
Resist! Don't let him start a clock!
I mean, I could
comes
try.
back looking for you. Or the Navy finds you again. Wherever you may be.
Can we resist mechanically here?
In theory, if you would like to try and resist this consequence, you can.
Mm-hmm. So the consequence is that we have limited time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So before he leaves, I say, Commander Sir, thank you for trusting us with this job. As our teachers in the academy said, it is important to do the job rather than rush the job. So I want to make sure that we really take care of this and not shame you in front of the Vice Admiral.
Don't worry, we are extremely thorough with our investigation there. Yes.
Check everything and double check and recheck again.
Okay, so in this case, then, Raphael, you're taking on the responsibility of resisting this, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So roll a resolve resistance and take stress for each point below 6.
Okay.
5. Doing well on these resistance rolls. Take 1 point of stress, Raphael.
Okay, it's getting stressful.
It's fine. You've got plenty. Don't worry.
It's fine.
This is a one shot.
He
We
kind
can
of
all
says,
die at the end.
You know, you might be right. It might be better if you come back with lots of information that I can pass on. It'll look good for all of us.
Sir?
Yes, as you were. And he turns and walks back up to the outer deck. And just as you now on the main deck, we have Alison and Raphael moving towards the communications array. On the Orlop deck, we have Hectate and his moving towards the augury. And all four of you at once, you notice that that faint thrumming you can hear of the engine starts stopping and starting. And then in the two corridors that you're walking through, all of the lights just go out.
Question, GM. Does ectoplasm glow?
It does. Electroplasm is quite noticeable. It's also has quite a strong presence in the ghost field. You would have seen those tanks up on the top of the ship. Would have been
Perfect. In that case, when the lights go out, Hectate is going to take out one of her vials of ectoplasm.
Mm-hmm.
I basically use it as like a mini glow stick.
Okie doke. And with everybody creeping around in the darkness, I think I'm going to suggest that we take our break here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean it's Blades in the dark? And we're in the
Yeah.
dark? No.
Well,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
come on.
The only
I
thing
was
that
gonna
we
let you
need
be in a
is
well-lit ship for the whole time. Come on.
tragically, I do not have a blade. So.
I might have a
Everyone has
blade.
some kind of blades, right? I think everyone can have a blade or two.
Yeah.
Hello again, everybody. We are back. We've waved our way back in. I think Cal may have hurt themselves.
It's fine.
But aside from that,
We're also rolling. We're rolling back in with a treat bonus die for Yelda as well.
Yeah. Raphael gets a treat on next roll. But we get back into the spooky with the lights all being out.
I pull out a lantern.
2 bonus dice for Yelda.
Raphael's getting all
Someone likes me. I appreciate you.
Someone spread the love. Come on, let everyone else have a few bonus die.
Yeah.
You know.
I have to start making these
Hey.
bargains if you get too many of them.
Not everyone can have the charm, you know.
If you feel generous, you could donate that to somebody else. But we'll just stack them up. You get the next 2 rolls. You get a free.
Okay. Well, we have time
we'll
to if someone desperately needs it, I'll share.
But Hectate is using a vial of electroplasm that she has to light the way. So the two of you, at least can find.
I'm also going to use the lantern, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can use the non-ghost one
for flavor. It's a wind-up lantern that his has been inventing. It's like one of those really horrible, those wind-up torches that you get on camp when you go camping that go the whole time. Yeah, that's his torch.
Very stealthy of you.
Absolutely. I'm the stealthiest person here.
I think some people might hear the noise that's making. That's fine.
Isn't that a little loud?
Sorry, I can't hear you. What was that?
Isn't that a little loud?
It's quiet in here. There's no one here.
Yes, but whatever ate the ghosts might still be here. Well,
that's lucky because we don't have anything to worry about.
What?
Ghosts aren't real.
What?
While you're walking and talking, having this kind of argument, I suppose, you have made your way to the end of the ship, and there's 2 doors side by side. One marked navigation, one marked augury.
One of these doors always lies. The other always tells the truth. You have to figure out which is which.
I've seen the schematics. They both tell the truth. Those are the right signs.
That's
a
not
real
how the
twist
doors
on
work.
that.
Are you sure
That's
about
a real
that?
twist in the middle, yeah.
Perhaps you were using the paper that lies.
What were we doing?
So the augury, I think. So the augury is what tracks the Leviathan, right?
Yeah, so the people, the augurs who work there are very kind of knowledgeable about leviathans and how their kind of biology and everything. They are essentially gigantic demons, and they're very into these people are very into the occult.
So if I was looking for a map with the route they were supposed to take, am I looking in the augury or am I looking in navigation?
So what would happen is the augurs would figure out where the leviathan is and where it's going, pass that information to navigation, and the navigation would take them there. So the path they're supposed to be taking would be figured out by the augurs, and navigation would make them do that.
Cool. So one is the wheel. The navigation is physically we are going to go that way. The augurs are where they figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
So I think the augury is where we want to go.
Okay. So the augury is, you can imagine one of the augurs standing in front of like a board that's in there with their like clothes, because there's just documents and drawings and scribblings everywhere, like blackboards with sketches, all of all not just the Leviathan that they were tracking on this journey, but all manner of different kinds. But of course, the main.
Callum and I have a devil's bargain.
Oh.
Yep.
On our next roll. Oh dear.
And I have a bonus die.
Okay,
And
everyone's got
Alec gets a
something.
treat.
Well done, everyone. You're helping making our lives easier and helping good people in the real world too.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hector, his next time you can roll, I'll offer you a devil's bargain.
Okay.
Alison, you'll get a free push in your next roll, and Raphael, you get a free push in your next 2 rolls.
We better start rolling, guys.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in here? Or is it empty as we believed?
It is empty. Most of the crew, because that they are starting to replace the crew, but it's barely been a few days since the Navy arrived, so most of the parts of the ship are empty still.
I would like to make a group study check. Is that cool with you, Riley?
Yeah. Tell me what you're looking for.
Yeah, go for it.
You said you were looking for like the projected path.
Yeah, I guess we know that they went off course, which is either they were tracking down the Leviathan and they decided to go a little bit further out, or there's something really suspicious going on. So if these notes are really consistent, this will mean that it was like Leviathan hunting. But if there's like inconsistencies in the notes or things that don't quite add up, it will show us that like either these lot sent them off course or they got orders from elsewhere to go off course, and this is just trying to cover up for that information. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. All right. You can take your group study. You're going to be controlled because no one's found you yet, and standard effect. But your devil's bargain.
Treat.
Riley gets a bonus die too.
Riley, you've got
Yay.
for this roll, we'll take that for the next roll because you're taking a devil's bargain this time. We've got to resolve that one first.
Yeah.
You can't have both on the same roll. So your devil's bargain is that you can take the extra die for your group roll here. But when you leave the augury, things are going to get slightly more interesting for you.
Interesting. Why wouldn't I take that deal?
I don't want to be more specific than that, but it's going to get. The spook is going to ramp up a bit if you.
Ooh.
take.
Well, you
this.
got to take that.
Well-
It's Halloween. We've got to go spooky.
Yeah, we gotta go
Perfect.
spooky.
Perfect.
And we're
Okay.
rolling in bonus die here.
So can the both of you please roll? Yeah, you've got so many. You're never going to actually use stress at this point. I'm going to have to do other things to stress you out.
I've
it
used the
doesn't matter.
stress.
Hey, we had some stress. Okay.
That's the point of the donations. The chat have decided that we don't get stressed, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they like
Yes,
us.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Would
chat.
you-
Where's the
stress
tricks?
free.
Why is the tricks coming in?
Would-
So
Would you really go against the will of chat?
You know?
it's
Absolutely.
for a good
Chat
cause.
are our overlords. We know this.
So it's one bonus die, correct?
Yeah, so study controlled standard, 1 bonus die. Both of you, please.
Fuck my life.
Oh no!
Aye,
And
aye.
Hector,
What are we rolling again?
study.
Study.
Controlled
Study.
standard with 1 bonus die.
Oh, hey, I have a point in that.
Okay.
Oh!
Let's go!
Okay.
Nice.
I take.
So
I
let's
take
resolve
one-
this properly. Hectate, please take a point of stress for Riley for his failing.
Was I not leading it? Do I not take the stress?
I don't. I think we didn't necessarily decide, but yeah. So
How many
whoever-
points of
whoever's
study
leading-
do you have?
Decide
Hiz?
amongst yourselves who is leading that. and
I
whoever's
think I
leading-
was leading it because.
Okay.
Yeah.
His take a stress,
Yeah.
but you crit. It's our first
Twice.
crit. So unfortunately, this was a devil's bargain. So the consequence that you accepted is still going to happen regardless. But you get
Oh,
everything
yeah,
you
no.
wanted and more. Like it goes crazy here. So
See all the the
Um,
calculations going past our heads.
yeah. This is just like math symbols, kind of.
It's like
Um,
that in the meme, yeah.
Yeah. So you find a bunch of information here. I mean, the augury and the navigation are very connected. I mean, there's a glass door which leads between the two departments because they're constantly exchanging information. So you find the path that was laid out by the augury. There's loads of notes about Zolrish of the Hidden Legion and about how it's this big beast that can split into multiple pieces and reform itself, hence the name. And they figured out how to detect the electroplasmic kind of pulses when it does that, and that's how they were tracking it. And so they've mapped out this path and showing where it's going, and it's obviously been kind of signed off and passed to navigation. So they were actually tracking this Leviathan. There's no doubt about that. But you also find the logs from the ship, which you see,
Ooh,
start of the
paper.
voyage. You see them starting to track the Leviathan. You see them start going out, and then a few days before they were set to make contact with Leviathan, they received a distress call on their comm system. The communications array received a signal from another ship, and it was written down that
ominous.
some people on the ship were calling for aid because their ship had broken down or something like that. So the reason that the information you got before that the ship had been off course is because the captain, Captain Hawkwood, made the call for them to divert their course and head to try and help the ship instead of tracking the Leviathan.
That was nice of them.
That seems like a suspiciously normal reason.
Too bad
to
it got them all
divert
murderized by some monster.
ship.
And the last point in the log is when they first encounter this other ship, and they pull up to it, and the logs say that we're going to board and try and help them out. And the last note is that the ship that they encountered is called the Heart of the Void.
Ooh,
And that's what you find
that's the
in
name
the
of the
Orgrian
tabletop
navigation.
one shot.
He said it. He said the name.
You said the same.
Roll credits.
So if
I will see you next episode.
if I was to help another ship, right, and I was to rescue its crew, for example, because the ship had broken down and couldn't be repaired, where would I keep those people?
Sorry, say again.
So if
Probably
I
the
was the
cargo
captain of
hold.
this ship
Hmm.
and I was sent, I had to go to a distress call and help the ship, and I couldn't help the ship, where would I take the people from that ship and store them?
If there were spare, probably there's spare quarters for if they're transporting people. There's sometimes Leviathan hunters will go between continents to transport people's important people. So because these ships are owned by noble families after all, so there'll probably be spare quarters for visitors that they would be taken to on the same level, the main deck up above where the officers and masters sleep.
Okay.
Given how well you've rolled in this, I'm going to give you that one for free.
Thank you.
And also, you saw the plans, so you know this anyway.
Well, I am not sure how much.
Well, I
more-
hope something spooky. Well, we figured out what we wanted to from this. Let's hope nothing spooky happens.
Well, before the spooky thing happens and we leave this room, I'm not sure we can find out any more information on this floor. It might be up to the others above to uncover some more details. I suspect if they did find this horrible demon in their notes, we should go and check the harvest deck next.
Agreed.
I will say that you,
Especially since it's
having
much
looked at
larger than normal.
having looked through the logs and the navigation, they never reached the Leviathan they were looking for. At least not
Oh.
it's not written in the logs.
It's not written in the logs, so they would have whatever happened before they went back on course.
It would seem that way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I still think it's worth checking in that cargo hold, which was slightly suspicious on the plans.
Agreed.
So I think we should go and check the cargo hold just in case there's anything more that we can glean, or we're going to have to go and try and sneak onto the deck with all the people on it.
And with that
Yes.
plan,
I'm not good at that.
well, actually, why don't we stick with the two of you for now, just for a moment. As you leave the augury,
Okay.
you find that the lights are back on in your floor. And you can see the hallway down to where the stairs would lead down to the harvest deck.
Heptade is going to put a hand in front of his and then activate her ghost mask again.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe what you both see. One normal sight and one ghost sight.
Cool.
So you pass through one of the big bulkhead doors heading into this big corridor. And the lights are on, it's well lit, but what you see about halfway down this corridor, around where the stairs are, is like a line of darkness. It's not like the light is fading out into where the lights are off. It's like a solid block where it's just dark and there's nothing there. You can't see a thing. And it's well lit and then line and then nothing. And Hecate, in the ghost field, you see very, very kind of thin overlay of ghosts' energy in this corridor. Might even just be from the two of you and everyone has been going around now. And then when it reaches the same point in the corridor, it's even more stark than when you first arrived here, that there is nothing in the ghost field there. It's not even empty. It's like the inverse of the ghost field, like it's a void of ghost energy at the same
I
point.
think we found the heart of the void. I think the ships are merging together.
What?
Pie.
Where is this wild speculation coming from?
Well,
Are you seeing
Well,
things
the whole way-
in your spooky mask?
well, yes, always. But also, the line is splitting the ship directly in half. It's splitting the hallway directly in half. And one half has ghost stuff, and one half has, like, a void of stuff. And the other ship is called the Heart of the Void. So, word association.
Well,
Yeah,
I believe in
both of you-
science.
what both of you do notice is that it is advancing on you very slowly.
Oh, no! We should go.
Why don't you cut back to the others while I come up with a plan?
Okay, sure. You've got this.
You okay with
this
that, Riley?
this
Give
freaking
us
darkness
something to
point
think
towards
about while the others do
Oh,
some
yeah,
stuff?
go for it. But hey, I have
Two.
I have treats. I have two treats,
Also, as a
so
reminder,
that could help
you
us
have
out.
just passed through one of the bulkheads, so you also have that that knowledge, depending on what you decide to do. But we'll skip up to the others.
I believe Yelda
you're-
currently has 3 treats.
Nice.
1 for Callum, 2 for Riley, 1 for me.
This is thank you all for being so
Ah,
generous with the donations.
You're being great today.
Thanks for the love.
I think for the time being, we're probably just going to assume everyone gets bonus die.
For all our rolls, right? For all of them.
Yeah. For until has anyone been keeping track of just how many there are?
No.
I think I've got it straight because we got up to where we've got like the devil's bargain. We did that, and we haven't had any of the other bonus die since then. So we've had.
Can I roll
3...
sway to convince you that we all have unlimited bonus dice?
Yelda has 3, Riley has 2, Callum and I each have 1.
Woo!
All right, sorry folks, I'm just my link to the captions broke. I'm just reconnecting it. Okay, that should be it.
Okay.
Okay. So you got rid of your shadow. He's back upstairs. And you're heading towards the captain's cabin. When you get to the back of the ship on the main deck, and it is locked.
It's locked, you say?
It is locked.
Well, shoot.
Well, we were sent here with official business.
Yeah.
Shall we go ask for a key?
Well, it can't harm. We're supposed to be in here, so we're supposed to have the key, I suppose.
I suppose you're supposed correctly.
I suppose I do. If suppose I shall.
Once we've finished supposing, I'll go look for someone who looks like they might have a key.
Well, when you go
that
back,
kind of key face.
I think when you go back, it's not been that long since the commander just left you, so he's still nearby that entrance down to the main deck that you took.
Okay. Approach him. Commander, sir, we have a complication, and the complication is that we do not possess the key.
You don't possess the key for
the place you've sent us to check.
Communications room? Or no?
Oh right, yes. Communications. I think everything when the ship came in, the bluecoats locked everything up. I'll have to go try to find it though. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure who's got it. Yeah, I think this is. I mean, you're still maintaining the lie from before, I think. So I think we're going to do another sway here, Raphael, and let's do another group one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right.
You're both contributing to this.
Sure. So we both have bonus die on this one, yes.
What's the position?
The position. I think your position here, because you've already established with this guy that this is what you're supposed to be doing, will be controlled.
Okay.
And your effect will be standard again. And you'll each get a bonus die from the many, many treats you've been getting.
Okay,
Oh.
this is standard effect? Okay.
Yeah.
No success for me.
Yikes.
So whoever was leading, take a point of stress. I forget to establish that at the start.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to lead or shall I lead? I currently have 2 stress.
I have 3.
I'll lead then. I'll take the stress.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So with the 4, you successfully you do this successfully. So he says he goes over to one of his subordinates and asks, and comes back and hands you the key.
Thank you, sir. We'll be right back.
Thank you kindly.
But he will say to you, although I checked in with Vice Admiral, nothing doing, I'm afraid. She wants those communication logs sharpish. So don't hold up, don't hang around.
Well, we'll do our best, sir, but you know we can't promise nothing. We can't. You never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes you just be wandering along, and then crap, there's a whole bird pooped on your face. You never know. So you never know what's gonna happen. And then I'm sort of like, as I'm saying this, like side eyeing to Raphael, who's probably like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, so yeah, we'll get on that, sir. Absolutely, yes, sure."
Yes, we'll do our best, sir, and I'm sure Vice Admiral is very, very busy, and we would not want to bother her too much with insufficient information.
So what's the play here? Are you going to try and resist this, or are you going to let this happen?
I feel like at this point, it sounds like we're letting it happen.
Yeah, we'll let it happen. Yeah.
Sure.
Too much stress. Yeah.
So I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to start a clock.
I completely forgot that I get +1 die for
I can see you shaking your head
misdirection.
there, Callum, but
So-
I'm sorry.
I forget to mention that.
I want to know what the clocks do, Callum. I'm
I'm
just
surprised
curious.
the weird shadow. I'm surprised the weird shadow number isn't a clock.
Oh, it doesn't need one. It's fine. So the
Started a clock, guys.
one of his many clocks is now ticking. I'm giving it 6 ticks to the Navy. You were rumbled by the naval officers, and I'm giving it 1 tick to start off.
Do we get to know how many sections it is?
It's 6.
Cool.
Okay.
But you have a key.
Okay.
Importantly,
We'll rush back to the comms room and go on inside. What is it? What kind of stuff is set up in there? Is it like a sort of dashboard or what?
So the
little
first thing
Morse
you
code
notice
thing.
is that it has a very nice kind of panoramic window, like all the way around to look out behind the ship. And there's basically a very long desk that runs underneath that window all the way around the room. And there are just, there's books and devices and some kind of, it's those old kind of sonograph things, but it's one of those kind of things with a ream of paper that's like printing out information. And there's some books that people have obviously been scribbling notes down in. But at the center of all of this, when you first walked in, you can see it right ahead of you, is it's quite a large obsidian rectangle that's propped up on a brass stand that's kind of facing outwards towards the room. And around the edges of it are golden symbols that have been etched into the edge of the
Ooh.
obsidian.
Well, that ain't no cup and string. I'm gonna.
And there's like a bunch of brass tools laid out in a line next to it. Like long, thin, kind of needle-looking things, and some kind of flat, almost like spatula-looking kind of tools, all kind of scattered all around it.
They're
And
always
next
like
to it, there's like a bunch of logbooks.
right. All those
Let's
gold
see.
symbols, are they like all the way around this thing, or just on one side?
It's basically like a border all the way around.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm like slowly wandering around, like looking at this thing, and she's got her brow furrowed, like she's like really thinking hard. But if Raphael looks closely, and I think Raphael would know her well enough to know, she's got like such blank eyes. There is no thoughts going on in this head.
Yeah.
She's just like,
Raphael is also like just nodding thoughtfully, which means that he has no idea what's going on.
we're so dumb. We're just like, this is a thing. I don't know what this is. Well-
It looks like equipment. Let's take a look if we understand some of the markings or words here.
I'm gonna take a look at these logbooks. At least they're gonna be in plain old English.
Could I do a flashback?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Help
Something that I haven't introduced to the stream yet. There's something you can do in Blaze in the Dark. You can, if you would like to have set something up or have something unusual that you brought with you on the score, we can have someone have a flashback to some point in their past where they establish that. For exchange for a few stress, of course.
So,
What are you thinking?
so I have the plans for this device, right?
Yes, more or less. You have a lot of the details of how this was built. Yeah.
So I think he's spent some time attempting to construct a miniature version and then wrote a guidebook on how to use it.
that's
Amazing.
For
That's
Chloe and
We're Yu-Gi-Oh-ing this.
Okay. I'm going to
No.
say, though, you only got this information yesterday.
Yes, sure.
they are very they work quickly and they're very thorough. Yeah.
Shorthand.
So you're not going to have, I think the middle ground I'm going to get to here is you're not going to have established everything, but you'll have a very basic understanding of it.
Enough that I can give instructions to the two people in the party who don't understand technical equipment to this is what it does, this is the on button, this is the read messages button.
If you're
Okay,
explaining this,
I'm
Ali, she'd be
happy
like,
with
where did
this.
it shoot?
You're going
Where's
to
the
take
gun
two.
bit?
You're going to take 2 stress to establish this.
Great. Do you want me to roll for it?
No. Flashbacks. You maybe actually yeah. Let's now that you've said that, let's roll to see how good it is.
Why would you say that?
Give me that tinker. Give me that tinker.
Yeah, it's I mean it's got to be. I've got to give you a tinker at some point. Yeah,
Still
roll
think
me a
you've
tinker.
got a bonus die that you haven't used,
But I
right?
have got a bonus die I haven't
Yeah.
used.
Controlled. You've got. Do you have like a fine like tinkering tools or something like that?
I do have fine tinkering tools.
so
I
control
also
greater
have
effect,
gadget, but I'm
extra
going to
die.
save that. So is that greater or what did you say?
Controlled greater effect with an extra die. Yeah.
Come on. Woo!
It's with
Nice.
greater effect, so that's like
Awesome.
onto a crit more or less.
Yay!
So I mean, yeah, you, Alison, Raphael, you don't know how this thing works. It doesn't have instructions exactly, but you have sort of instructions that were provided to you by his, and it more or less explains what each of these symbols, these runes, does, and each of them operates as like a control for this. So one of them, say, is like send. One of them is receive message. One of them is brings up a keyboard sort of thing, like letters so that you can type messages out. One of them kind of brings up a log of old messages. It's kind of like that, but because of space concerns on the device. It doesn't explain this anywhere because the people who made this know how it works, so they didn't write instructions down on it. But you have rudimentary instructions provided to you.
Press X to talk.
The logbooks that are by this device only go up to the point of them saying we are like sending back to the port. You know, we're underway. We're tracking the Leviathan. Report back once we've got there, kind of thing. So
Okay.
anything else that was received has not been written down in the logbooks.
Let's check the logs then. Retrieve the last messages.
Is there any way of figuring out whether this thing has some kind of like its memory in itself, or whether it all just has to be written down in the logbook? I'm thinking of it like
I
a
think
computer.
you wouldn't know that until you try.
Well, there is a button.
Well,
to
I would
retrieve
try.
messages,
Yeah,
logically.
if there's a button that I'm like maybe not too sure what it does, I'm gonna press it.
Excellent. Alison, can you roll me study?
That I can do.
Good,
With
I don't
the
have any.
controlled, and thanks to his flashback, I'm going to increase your effect as well.
Yeah.
Now
Now
I think you still have a bonus die, right?
I used my bonus die.
Right?
Unless I have another one, which I don't think I do. No.
You can also, obviously, you can still push yourself if you want.
While she's doing that, can I do a survey to see if we can find any more useful information that we don't see immediately?
Sure. We'll resolve Alison's one first.
Okay.
I think that to be spicy, would you like to give me a devil's bargain?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Now there we have an idea, don't we?
Because you'll be surprised to learn I have 0 dice in study.
I see. Okay. What would a devil's bargain look like here? Okay. The devil's bargain is that I'm sure you're not going to be sure whether it's something you did or if it's damaged in some way. But after you do this, it's going to break and it's going to hurt you.
Oh no.
Oh. This is the thing, is that there's a small voice, and every day it gets smaller and smaller. But in the back of my brain, whenever I play games, that goes, "Don't do that. That's stupid. You should do the same thing." And then there's a much bigger voice that goes, "Chaos!" And so yeah, I'll accept that. That sounds like fun.
Fantastic. So that, as a reminder, that's going to happen irrespective of what you roll here.
Yes.
So yeah, give me a study. Controlled greater effects. That's a 5.
Hey, there we go.
Nice.
Woo!
Okay, so you are able to find that there are logs that go back a certain way. I think it can store maybe 100 messages or so before it starts deleting them. So you can see all the most recent ones. And what you find is that you find the actual message that was sent by the Heart of the Void to the Scythe of Akaros. It turns out that this ship also has one of these experimental communications rigs. The message isn't very long, but it says, "Help! Crew have gone missing. Our ship has stalled. We require assistance." And it's signed off by Novena Arborea. No, that's not. No, sorry, that's the wrong person. That's the wrong person. That's not signed off by Novena. It's.
Oh, I got. Oh, so that was the sister, right?
It's signed off by. Sorry, I apologize. That's the wrong name. It's signed off by Avar Vantello.
Okay. I was connecting the dots in that conspiracy there for a second.
It's like it was a twist.
Yeah. Sorry, I got the two engineers mixed up. Avar Vantello, who is a scientist aboard the Heart of the Void, it sends like the information about their kind of log with them.
Hey, Raphael, I think they were responding to some sort of distress call here. Heart of the Void, you heard of that? What kind of name's
Nope,
that?
but I do not like that name.
It's almost as haunted as a scythe of the whatever this thing is.
And the last message on the logs is basically the ogre, Armin Falaban, sending a message back to them, saying basically we're on our way.
And how long ago was that? Does it have a timestamp?
That was about 2 weeks ago. So about a week and a half before it's drifted back into the port.
There's some fishing going on right here. So fishy, I can smell the trout from here. Don't like it one bit.
Why would you call a ship like that? That's just asking for trouble.
Well,
Why don't you like? Why do they never call ships like? Nothing bad happens here.
or like bunny rabbit's little cute fluffy nose or something.
Yeah,
So
or the
nice.
unsinkable or something like that.
Yeah.
Raphael, you wanted to also see if you could pick up any additional information around this.
Yeah, just looking around the room to see if there's anything unusual or something we haven't noticed, something that can give us more clues to what's going on here.
Yeah, roll me a survey to look around the rest of this room.
Okay.
So again, it's going to be controlled position with standard effect. And you definitely, I'm sure you have at least one more bonus. Yeah, you've got one more bonus die to go.
All right. Let's roll the dice. Oh, come on!
Oh dear.
Raphael is not very observant.
So you don't manage to find anything in this room that is helpful to you. Mostly the contents of the communications room are just the logs and the machinery and stuff. But you do take your time about this because it's quite there's kind of cabinets and drawers and all manner of stuff everywhere, and it takes a while to get through it. So your consequence of this is I'm going to add 2 ticks to the clock that you get found by the ogre.
Yikes.
Oh, 2 at once. We're halfway.
Yeah, you've got all of that. Let's go back, shall we, to the Orlop deck.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Some block of darkness creeping up on you. Spooky.
I hate to ask this, Hecate, but your spooky device, it does see something in that darkness, right?
No,
It doesn't.
it sees nothing.
Oh, okay.
And that is infinitely more terrifying. Which is why I think we should go. You know, we gave it the old Blades in the Dark try.
So to get down or up, we'd have to go through it, wouldn't we? Theoretically.
In theory, to go down the stairs that it's covering, yes.
Yeah.
But you know that there are stairs on both sides of the ship.
Oh.
You can kind of imagine that there's corridors going round the edge of the ship like that. You're on this side of it.
Yeah.
You know that there's ways up and down on both sides.
Oh, okay. We just don't have to solve this problem. We can just walk away.
Exactly. See, now you're thinking with ghost brain.
Yeah, I think his is just going to choose to ignore the weird shadow monster and go the other way to find some stairs down.
Okay. So you're gonna just turn around and just walk leisurely out the corridor? Okay.
No spookies today.
It's creeping up on you faster. The moment you start moving away from you, it's closing in on you much faster.
Okay.
Try pointing your light at. See what happens.
Oh, that's a good shout. What happens when I point my lantern in its direction?
The light emanating from your lantern travels out in kind of a cone from the lantern, and then just gets stopped the moment that it touches the edge of the darkness. And you can see it kind of coming towards you slowly, and it eats away at the light as it moves towards you. It blocks it out.
Okay. I'm about to suggest something pretty goofy, pretty silly-brained right here, but I suggest I blow a hole in the wall and we run.
Well, we may not have to do that. Would you describe the sealant used on the bulkhead as being an alchemical substance?
Where are you going with this?
Well, I have some substances that can get rid of like if it has been welded by alchemical material, I have a chemical that can undo that.
Oh, neat.
Okay, so the bulkhead you're talking about is
What
the
I want to
one.
do is use corrosive acid to make a hole in the ship so I can go down a floor.
Okay, sure. That seems fun. I mean,
also,
so
I will note that I have a demon bane charm. Does that do anything?
you have a demon vein charm. Now we've hit something interesting.
I have a spirit
Oh,
bane
okay.
charm, if that's relevant.
Spirit vein
Is this a
charms
demon or a spirit?
prevent you from being possessed by ghosts.
I see. Okay.
Which can very, very much be useful if you encounter ghosts.
Yeah. This really tracks
Okay.
for Ali.
Let's. So I think maybe while his is you said your suggestion for us is, so let's try and see if you can do this. So I think using your alchemicals is going to be a tinker. I think. What exactly do you have? Is it a like a fine something or other, or?
So I've got a bandolier of alchemicals which come in free, and I've already used one. I have Alchest, a fluid that stops the effect of any other alchemical.
Okay. I think you can try this with a tinker. It's going to be risky position because of
The fact of the shadow coming to meet me. Yeah.
And you're going to have lesser effect.
Okay, limited effect. Cool.
Yeah. And as a reminder here, just so everyone's aware, you can push yourself to increase effect as well as you add an extra die.
I think I will push myself to increase the effect then.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we've had lowered effect, so I wanted to make sure everyone remembered that. Okay,
Gotcha.
so yeah, roll me the.
Oh yeah!
Oh.
That was close. That was close.
Yeah, I think you're able to do this. I mean, tell
Let's
me,
go.
it's your weird thing that you're doing. Tell me what you do.
Yeah, so like I pull out a vial and I start like very very delicately finding like seams in the panels of the metal, and like hoping that there's like the alchemical fusing, which I don't think is how things are built in Discworld, but we're gonna go with it. Is still enough that this chemical will work, and it just like makes it like in the middle of the plate is going, and then the plate drops with it still on it.
That's great. And Raphael, Allison, you hear a thunk in the corridor outside the room you're in.
I'm sure that
Was
means
I not
that
a
everything's
floor
going well.
under them?
Are you on the? Were you at the community? No, actually, yeah, you were at the. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm getting.
I'm going down into the harvest deck.
You've dropped down into the harvest deck.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's fine.
Oh.
They didn't
I'm
make
sure
it.
everything's
They
good.
didn't
I'm
make
sure
it
they're
to
fine.
According to my notes and my information, they didn't make it to the horrible demon they were chasing. So the harvest deck should be empty.
The
Oh goodness.
harvest deck is more or less empty.
Well, it was an honor working with you.
More or less.
There are some faint bloodstains around the extraction chambers at the edges of the room, but there are no Leviathan parts, no tankers of blood anywhere. As you said, you know that they never made it to the Leviathan they were tracking.
Okay, so that blood.
Yeah, this floor is basically mostly a huge open space in the center where you presume bits of demon would be placed. And at the edges of the room, there are these big tankers that are used to extract electroplasm from the blood. And you know from your plans at the rear of this deck are where the electroplasmic engines and pipelines are.
And you said there's also a cargo hold on this floor?
Yeah, at the other end of the harvest deck, there is also the cargo hold. And beneath you is the berth where like storage, like with the magazine and the storage and stuff on.
Yeah. So the blood, where is it specifically? Is it towards the engine, or the storeroom? Is it just kind of everywhere?
There are bits of it around the tanks, which you may expect because that's where it's kind of stored.
Yeah.
But there's also blood that is very much not the same color. As in, it's more like, red.
Human blood.
Human blood.
Yeah.
At the two exits at either end. Just like on the ground next, below the doors.
Cool.
The door to the cargo hold also has a very large padlock on it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So there's been power troubles, and these engines would power the whole ship, right?
Mm.
I've got 4 places to explore, and they're all so juicy. Oh,
Well, pick one. You got half an hour.
I know. Let's go for a pad. I love a challenge. I'm gonna go and try and unlock that padlock.
Okay. We've reached a situation now where the group is in 3 different places. I'm gonna have to try and
Hector, hey, come down here. It's safe-ish.
I do want to do this though, Hectate. When you put on the Dean and Bane charm,
Oh, yes?
it slows down and then stops about a foot in front of you.
Oh! It's not a ghost, it's a demon. That's much worse. That's so much worse.
And it's almost like making a berth around you as it kind of curls in a circle to your side. And
okay.
you see what you think is a face in the darkness. It has sunken eyes.
Hello.
And sharp teeth. But it disappears again as
Hello.
it backs off.
Oh, bye. This is some... I'm not going to lie to you. This is some really the magical darkness.
Don't worry about it. Magic isn't real.
Okay, I can understand you not thinking ghosts are real, but come on. I'm literally using magic all the time. Why are you so silly-brained about this?
Sleight of hands.
Alison and Raphael, let's go back up to the main deck. You have thoroughly scoured the communications room.
Okay. So we have the information. We can bring it back to the commander, but the other part of what we're trying to find out is what happened to the sister of our employer.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if were they all like in the crew quarters or?
So she was one of the engineers.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be down with the regular sailors. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we've completely gutted the communications room. We probably ought to go check that out, see if we can find out what happened to her.
Sure.
Yep.
I think when you go down the stairs, you can't see anything because you've walked into an area of complete inky darkness.
Well, this is just
Um,
uncomfortable, isn't it?
How big are the lanterns that we can have with us? Can we have them like something like a flashlight size, or?
You can have like sort of hand lanterns that you would like use to navigate your way around.
Okay, then
But-
I'll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, then let's say I have a lantern with me.
Okay. When you turn it on, it doesn't light anything up. You can see the lights
Well-
on, but it doesn't help you at all.
I turn
Did you
to.
break your lantern?
I turn to Alison. Is it too late to go back home?
I think at this point, probably yes.
Hecate
So-
and I guess Alison and Raphael, you see this big nothingness start to kind of move quite rapidly, and it slips through the bulkhead that you came through when you left the augury, and the bulkhead door slams shut behind it, and you are now in a well-lit corridor again.
What
And there's also a hole in the floor.
Oh, well, that worked out.
the ever-loving skies above was that thing? Ever
Just
seen something
kidding.
like that before, Raphael?
Are we near each other?
Yeah, can we see each other or hear each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're fairly close because they were coming towards where the next set of stairs down the way is. So,
Hectate, that you there?
Are you possessed?
That depends. Are you
being
Hectate
controlled
friend
by-
or Hectate not friend?
What do you
Well-
think?
That is a complicated question. Are you
I
being
do
controlled
not
by
know
a
the
demon?
answer to this. I'm asking you the question.
Oh,
I
for
am being
love-
the bad navy here.
I'll just stop marching down the corridor until I come across Hectate.
I'll
yeah, you find Hecate. It's not that
Oh,
far.
hey,
far along.
it is Hectate friend.
Well, yeah. You said you heard anyone else say like this around here?
Do you
Ain't
know what's
nobody
going
got
on
that
with stairs? And I point to my lantern, like,
It's working now. Now that that's gone, it's
Oh, you
working.
fixed it.
oh,
Well done. Didn't know you had it in you.
that was all me. Yeah.
Oh
I fixed it.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't broken. No, it was being eaten by the shadow demon. But don't worry,
Yeah.
it left. It's going to kill other people now. We're good.
You don't use a shadow demon and don't worry in the same sentence.
Yeah, that's not a sentence I wanted to hear today. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Of course you do.
Why would I want to hear the sentence that got eaten by the shadow demon and now it's gonna go kill people?
There's also
Because now it won't kill us.
Well, now that I can get on board.
That works for me.
Where's his?
see him down the
Yeah,
hole.
you see?
Oh! I'll like lean down and like poke my head through the hole, be like, "His, what you gonna do now? Where are you?"
We can't hear you.
We can hear you.
I'm just picking this lock.
Oh, is that a lock we want to pick?
It looks like a challenge.
I love me a challenge. I'll come jump down the hole.
Why did I join this crew again?
Because you love us.
Well, I suppose.
Raphael,
Hecate-
are you going to follow him
Hectate does a
down?
backflip down the hole.
It's very stylish. And you'll land with the clatter next to Alison. Raphael, are you going to follow him down? or are you
Smoking
gonna keep
sexy
looking
style.
For Navena's quarters.
Crawl down, you say?
Yeah, and I was saying, do you want to go down to the next floor as well, or do you want to keep looking for the Nevena quarters?
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I think we're not doing that.
they seem that they have it handled, so we'll go about our own quest here.
Okay. What should we do first? I think seeing as you've been there for a while, let's do their bit first. It's a hefty lock, but you're good at picking locks.
Oh yeah.
Can you please roll me a tinker with a I'm going to say you're given recent events in a risky position now.
Okay.
I
I got my fine tinkering tool still.
Yes, which is going to bring you up to standard effect.
Cool. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push myself.
Okay, so gain an additional die as well. That is a 6.
Right, good.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing holding you back from unpicking a lock. It just falls off in your hands. It's
I
feels like it should
hold
be.
I hold the lock in my hand and kiss it, and put it down.
Now, there's not a lot
It's
of
That
things
is
heavy.
that
not
I would,
sanitary.
Lift up, really.
there's not a lot of things that I would yuck somebody's yum, but that's just plain weird.
I'm just admiring his design.
Yeah, okay. Let's get this door open.
So inside the cargo hold, I mean, there's crates and there's barrels and there's some pretty mundane looking stuff just kind of scattered around. There are also, I'm going to I need to count something quickly.
There's nothing worrying in the cargo hold. What could you possibly need to count in the cargo hold?
5 objects
Exactly, the chef.
that they look organic, like the surface of them appears similar to maybe like a very kind of brittle tree bark, and they start from the floor and kind of go up into long cylinders and reach the ceiling and fold up again. And they're maybe about 2 feet wide, and there's 5 of them, just in a line at the edge of the cargo hold.
Here's what the heck are those?
That's a great question. I could study them.
I mean, I was kind of hoping you'd already know, you being all smart and all.
Well, I don't deal with nonsensical demon nonsense.
Oh yeah, you're right. Heck, Tate, you there? You seen these before?
Yeah, what?
These kind of weird tree things.
Seen what?
Those. And I point.
What would I roll to see if I know about them?
We could maybe do a group study. If we're
Yeah,
all
I
looking.
think that's appropriate here.
Or is it spooky enough to be in a tune?
I have 0 dice in both of those.
I'm going to
so-
go off a little bit off piste here. I'll allow you to do a group roll, but you can choose to roll either study or a tune.
I'm better at a tune.
But we still need someone to lead the roll.
I can Hectate, I can give you a +1 die in a tune, but it's gonna hurt.
Well, actually, I have 2 treats, so
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's
I can
fine.
just push myself.
yeah, Hectate's going to get an extra die.
Alison, would you like
Go
this?
for it. Go for it. I've got
Okay.
0 dice, nothing to lose.
My final
Okay,
bandolier of alchemical nonsense. I just shove a bunch of drugs in your system.
Ow! I told you to stop doing that.
Oh, hey, that looks fun. Ow, 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 hey, ow, 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 ow. Oh, that one was nice, actually. Ow.
So that's Quicksilver. You gain +1 die in a tune, but you are zoned
it-
out under harm.
Doesn't this kill people? It's starting to hit. Oh no!
Everyone roll their rolls with risky position standard effect. and an extra die for Hectate.
Do I get 2 because of the Quicksilver and the treat, or just 1?
Oh, is this an assist for as well? Yeah, you get an extra additional die for the assist as well. Yeah.
So, Callum, can you repeat the disadvantage of the
2
Quicksilver?
6s!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't worry, you crit.
Suffer level 2 harm, zoned out.
Okay, cool.
Everyone passed there, so no stress for the leader. But you have crit. And Hectate, can you mark down level 2 in one of the level 2 harm boxes zoned out, please?
Where's the level 2 harm boxes? Oh, level 2.
Yeah.
Zoned out.
So if you do anything which requires your mental focus, you're going to have -1 die.
I'm literally a mind character. Why would you inject this into me? I
said it would hurt. I don't know what to tell you. I said
This
it
is
would
gonna
hurt.
be fine. Ali doesn't have any thoughts ever.
I know so much about trees. I love trees. They're so far.
We've got 20 minutes. Use it or lose it.
I think with this, you're able to figure out almost instantly, because when you start interacting with them and start trying to feel around what they are, the one you're looking at splits open. And
no, I broke it.
Woman slides out and flops onto the ground.
Ma'am, you appear to be rather
I'm not ready to be a mother.
And she looks very, very similar to the man who hired you.
It's okay. I will
Arborea,
take care of you.
and
I didn't have to go look for her.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she seems fine.
I mean, she doesn't seem fine. She's alive.
My beautiful child.
Hectate, this is not your child. This is Navina.
Great. Is she conscious or still unconscious?
She's breathing very heavily, and seems to be regaining consciousness.
Chris, am I there too, or have I left to check out?
That's your choice. You can say that once they got it open, you came and joined them.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Hectate starts crying in the corner because she's lost her child.
Okay.
I lean down to check if she's okay, check the pulse, and
she seems fine.
Right?
I mean, she's shaken, obviously, but physically seems totally fine.
My darling,
other than the bruise on her temple, she seems to be doing
take
fine.
her hand. My darling,
who hurt you?
I know you've been through a lot, but I have a question. What, and I cannot overstate this, the hell is going on here?
It might quite literally be hell.
Before she responds, do you open the other ones?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna open all of them.
Oh
Great.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. But
Let's poke everything. Yeah.
You find they all have someone inside them. They're all wearing their uniforms from when they're working on the ship. You find the cook, Colin Temick. You find one of the sailors, Lily, she's called Lily, is the name badge on. You also find the ogre, Armin Falaban, a fairly old man with a great big bushy beard. And you also find a woman who doesn't seem to be wearing any identification. A Taikarosi woman with a single curled horn on her head.
The demon put all my children into trees.
I go to Hectate.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Raphael takes a candy out of his pocket and is like, Hectate, here. Eat this. Be quiet.
She takes the candy. This is the greatest thing anyone has ever done
Great,
for me.
great.
Exactly.
And
I have
like-
more. Just
And like when you guys look away and look back, the candy's just gone.
Navena, in response to your question, Raphael gets up and shakily gets to her feet, and she's just kind of stares at you for a bit, and you can see tears welling up in her eyes, and she said, "I thought I'd be in there forever," and hugs you.
I like awkwardly tap on the shoulder. Here. But
They-
I do repeat, what happened?
So she and the Takirosu woman, who she introduces as Avar Vantello, scientist from Out of the Void, fill you in. In fact, Avar, when you ask this, takes over and says, the heart of the Void, the ship that I was stationed on. I mean, we were told at the Institute that it was an experimental propulsion system, that we would go out on this expedition to the Void Sea, take some readings, say, that's good job, head back. But if I'd known what they put in there, I wouldn't have agreed to go. I never intended for any of this.
What
They were-
wasn't it?
I could go for some
They-
chicken tenders.
Well, they kidnapped some kind of creature, and they were using it as a power source. It was trapped inside the ship, but I don't know. It must have found a way out.
Was it a shadow demon?
It was something of that sort. I don't know, really. The crew started disappearing, and I could hear the screams and the scraping, and I went to the communications room. I sent out a message, and a few hours later, this ship arrived. They took us aboard, and it started again. And Navena
Whoa.
fills in how one by one the crew of the Scythe of Akaros disappeared, and that the captain found these pods in the cargo hold. And she says, I think whatever it is was using these people as food and was storing them down here.
Lovely.
But you
But
But
apparently it
what the
never got to us, which I appreciate. But it
Spoiled.
does take some time.
Well, let's focus on the positives. We're all still alive currently. We do believe the shadow monster is on this ship.
Of course it's on this ship. We done seen it.
No, it isn't.
Is
No, it
not?
left the ship. It's
got-
killing everyone else now. We're fine.
I
Well,
think
it's-
that might be worse.
No,
My
it was,
friends.
it was still on the ship last you saw it. It was an internal bulkhead that it left through.
Okay.
Our job was to
Oh,
get
internal
information,
bulkhead. Okay.
and that was it. We succeeded in that, and I suggest we let these fine people go and talk to these fine officers upstairs while we make our exit.
I wholeheartedly agree. This is far beyond my pay grade. We ain't getting enough coin for this.
I mean,
We were not getting paid for any shadow monsters or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
That's
I do disagree that sending them to the guards upstairs is a bad plan, because the guards probably don't want people to know about what happened to you, so they might not survive that. And believe it or not, I do have a conscience. So
You got into this business and you got a
Why?
conscience.
Yes.
I'm surprised you lasted this long.
You injected
Well-
me with quicksilver.
You agreed. So two questions. One, there's an exit that we can use. The bulkhead. The hatch that I fused, I can unfuse using my alchemicals. Two, you said the demon was kind of part of the engine, or the engine was using it for power, right?
Yes, yes. I don't know. I don't understand how it works, but it the propulsion was coming entirely from that thing. There was no other power source in there.
Could this ship's engine have accidentally taken it aboard itself somehow?
I mean, it's not necessarily designed for that, but if the thing could feed from people's life force, then maybe it could feed from the engine too.
Well, I just think that maybe on our way out, we destroy the engine.
Oh, yes.
You know, I was waiting for a chance to use these bad boys, and she pats like guns on her hips.
So why don't you two, talking to Raphael and Hectate, lead these lovely people out? Here's the alchemical to open the gate, and me and Alison go blow some stuff up.
I do love me an explosion.
Well, as long as I'm not the one doing the blowing out part, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with getting the hell out of here part.
Go back to your boring stuff. We'll
When you
we'll
leave-
deal with the action.
When you leave,
And I
the
like-
Being alive is not boring, my dear.
I'll whack his on the back slightly too forcefully and be like, "Ha ha! Let's go."
When you leave the cargo hold, there is a solid black line across the middle of the harvest deck.
No, well, that's now going to be a problem now, isn't it?
But the dark part, this darkness that's covering everywhere starts to kind of close in and fade as a humanoid figure steps out of it. It has grey skin stretched over a tall body with spiked bone-like plating sticking out at strange angles all over it. It has a chest plate in the center that's split down the middle. And that face you saw Hectate earlier, the sunken eye sockets, the sharp teeth, it begins to walk towards you. You can hear it making groaning and sniffing sounds almost. When you see this creature and the kind of darkness surrounding it, you're hit by two kind of almost simultaneously and opposite feelings. You want to run, you desperately want to be away from it. But when you try, you find your feet are planted to the ground as you're almost captivated by staring at it. You are in the presence of something otherworldly that none of you have seen before. So you have an option here. You can freeze to the spot. You can run and get out of here. Or you can try and resist the effects of this creature.
And resisting will be
And a resolve resistance.
resolved. Does Spirit Bane help here at all? No.
It's a demon.
This, this, if Hectate, this is you feel this being this is the source of the complete absence of Ghostfield.
I would like to resist.
I would also like to resist.
Go for it. Roll your resolve.
Let's go.
I have a bonus dice. I'll use it here.
I am going to run
Okay.
like a hero.
All right.
Okay. Raphael, take a stress.
Oh,
Hasn't take 4 stress.
that wasn't great. Still some left. We're fine.
I think I'm going to resist. I don't think I can do anything clever here. So let's just resolve. Can I push my? No, nope. That's a terrible idea.
Push
Fuck.
yourself to
I
not.
think I'm gone. Yeah, that's me gone.
Ooh.
Are you maxed
Yikes.
out?
Yeah, I'm maxed out.
So what I'm going to say here is that you follow Hectate and also run. If you max out stress in Blaze in the Dark, you leave and you suffer mental trauma,
That old
Uh,
chestnut.
which in this case I think is probably going to be haunted or something like.
Well, it's just it's going to further my belief that demons and ghosts aren't real.
Just completely
It's
blocking
just
it.
like block it out.
Just completely
Denial.
block it out, denial. I refuse
Yeah.
to believe what I just saw. That was a mistake. That never happened. I tried to help it. My plan was to help it. But fuck it. It's been really mean to me. I don't care about these things ever again.
So Hecate and his have booked it for his exit. I think his has the alchemical to let you out. Alison Raphael, you are staring this thing down. It's focusing on you now that the others have left.
Oh, I'm doing the first thing that Alison's ever gonna do if she's faced with something like this. I'm gonna shoot at it. I have a fine pair of pistols. GQ.
Okay.
It's
Go
gonna
for
so
it.
badly. It's gonna go so badly, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Roll me a hunt with in a desperate position
Absolutely.
with lesser effect. Your fine pistols are taking it from no effect up to lesser.
I see. I can't push myself because then I will just be out. So here we go. Well, that
Oh
went
dear.
real well.
Oof.
Your shots reflect uselessly off the armor plating on its front.
I
And
shoot
when
as
you
well.
do this, the chest plate on its front splits open, opens like a pair of double doors. You can see what look like eyes on the inside of the chest, their lids opening
Oh,
off the other in rows and swivel towards you.
Now that's far too many eyes. You need
Oh,
to see
dear.
Doctor about that one.
A black tendril reaches out of the void inside its chest and grabs onto your arm.
ah,
Can you please
we're
roll
going
me
to have to
a
amputate.
prowess resistance roll, please?
That
And
was
indeed.
foreshadowing.
Ooh, I'm out.
Aye.
That's me out.
This leaves a rather intense burn on your arm, but you're able to slip out of its grasp and flee.
I shoot at it as well.
Raphael, you're left alone now,
Yeah,
and it's looking at you.
I shoot at it as well.
Okay, roll me a hunt with desperate position, 0 effect.
I have a free devil's bargain that's left.
Ooh.
Okay, this is what I'll offer you because we've only got a few minutes left, so we need to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
The devil's bargain I'm giving you is here that if you succeed in this roll, it will distract it enough for you to escape, but it will still be here when you have all gone.
Oh, I don't care
You
about
did
that.
not affect it. You did not affect it in any way.
As long as I'm not there, that's fine with me.
We're scoundrels. Ha
We're scoundrels, and we
It's
are
still
not prepared to kill Cthulhu.
Have other people.
Yeah, roll me a hunt. This will have to be the our last
Okay, so that's a risky position.
desperate position.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So the
Last
other people
last
have
roll.
fled, or are we leaving the other people to die?
I think the others probably ran with you because they're
gotcha.
not
And
really
standard
fighters.
effect.
Lesser effect.
Oh, okay.
oh God.
You are
It was nice knowing you, Raphael.
Yep.
limited. You mean limited effect?
Yeah.
And +1, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, that could be
I
worse. Yeah.
think it's similarly to Alison. It managed to lash at your arm as you get past, and you'll take level 2 harm, acid burn. But you managed to escape as well. But this creature is still here.
Yeah, as we run, I shout at my team, let's not do any more jobs with shadow demons.
Well, I wouldn't have done it if I'd known I was a shadow
Okay.
demon in the first place.
I mean, I kind of warned you guys that there were no ghosts around and that was ominous and stuff, but I mean, okay, go off.
Yeah, well, you
Oh,
didn't
wait,
say
I'm
shadow
high.
demon.
Well, I'm not really used to shadow demons, but you should have realized that there was something off,
I'll
when
just
there were
keep
like
running,
no
let's
ghosts around
go.
it. Okay, but hold on, I need to throw up because I am high.
So after you manage to get away, back in Pavel's office, he reunites with his sister and he asks where the creature is now. What will it do now
Well,
that
it's
it's
not
still alive?
in
and
the ship.
You took away its food.
Well, I don't know. That's short answer.
Well, there
What,
was
you
nothing on the
wanted
ship.
But
Some
There
of
was
course,
nothing
of course
there.
we're anonymous. This information is worth quite a lot. He pays you double for the trouble.
There was
And for collateral, I show health insurance is really expensive.
hazard pay. Pretty standard these days.
But Duskfall is going to have a new monster to deal with.
It's a good thing that monsters aren't real, though, isn't it?
Oh
Maybe
my
actually-
god!
I believe Raphael is going to take a vacation for.
Okay. I think we are wrapping up there. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hey,
You managed to get away with half of you intact, which I think is good going.
Whoop, whoop,
well,
whoop.
no one
I
died.
feel like we were all
Yay.
intact, just some of us are mentally scarred.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I mean, I was pre-mentally scarred, so I'm fine.
Yeah, you can't be double mentally scarred.
Absolutely. You can
Exactly.
be up to 4.
And you rescued Pavel's sister, which and the remaining crew. So you got away with it.
Thank you very much, chat, for being so generous during our stream.
Yay!
It didn't
Yeah,
help us.
thank
Yeah.
you for your donations and
We
stuff
could-
like that.
Yeah, I did not get to
very
show off
quickly,
my
because we're
disguise.
overrunning slightly here. Can you all quickly give us a sign off and plug yourselves so that we can tell them if you-
Yeah, I can go
Tra-
first.
yeah.
I'm Chloe. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Chloe with the Flow, various iterations thereupon. I am an actor, I'm a singer, I'm a composer, I'm a streamer, I'm a podcaster, I'm a many, many hats person. You can find me streaming on Twitch, or you can find me on the Deck of Many Aces podcast, which is an actual play D&D 5e podcast made with actual asexuals and aromantics. And this week is Ace Week, so you're legally obliged to listen to it, just
Woo.
saying.
Good.
So yeah, that's me. I do a bunch of other stuff as well, but that's the main thing.
I'm Riley, she, her. I don't have a ton of social media presence, but you can find me on Blue Sky and Twitter under nazenthedark. I make video games. You can find my games at Technophoria Collective at itch.io. And trans rights are human rights and free Palestine.
Hello, everyone. I have been Callum, and I will continue to be Callum. You just won't see me unless you go to my Twitter, which is at Theatre Callum everywhere. I'm Theatre Callum everywhere. I did some really effective branding. I also run a actual play on the Misadventurers League, which is every Wednesday. I run a horror campaign called in Kids on Bikes called Hallows Vale. We're going into episode 4 next week. Yeah, and that's everything from me.
Right. And my name is Eldar, he, him. I am a psychotherapist and a game master on my free time. I run a lot of Vampire the Masquerade and a lot of other games. And you can find me at local cons, running a lot of games. And you can find me on social media. My handle is Playlaxian, as in Dune, on pretty much everywhere.
Nice.
And I have been Chris, your GM for this evening. You can find me on Twitter at CTKelly9 or on Blue Sky at Vengaboy. And other than that, I don't really have much of an online presence. This is the first time I've run anything on stream. This is only the second time I've been on a stream at all. So thank you everyone for sticking
Woo!
around and all the
You
donations
did great.
and everything. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. And goodbye from me and goodbye from everyone.
Yeah, you too, man.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm Aida. My pronouns are she and her, and that was such a lovely, lovely game. I'm very happy that our scoundrels were able to not only complete their mission, but make clear what their boundaries are. If you're going to go the extra mile, you need to pay an extra mile and then some. So good on them for establishing what they are prepared to take on and not. That's very important, whether you're a law-abiding citizen or a criminal, subjective, scoundrel, subjective. However, all of you have been wonderful, wonderful people for having donated. Thank you so much on behalf of AKT Charity and at all of us from Roll for Good. Thank you so much if you've been keeping it lively in the chat. Thank you so much if you have been reposting, if you've been talking about it on your Insta, if you've been TikToking, if you've been helping to spread the word in any way, shape, or form. That means so much to us. By the way, our Tiltify link will be open for just a few more days after the event in case you finally manage to flag down that very rich second degree relative of yours who has deeper pockets and told you, yeah, I'm going to donate. You hold them to it. You give them the link and you say, hey, it's not too late. Here you go. And in the meantime, I see that we are having a giveaway for the Paris Rondo game. Can I enter that? Exclamation mark, Paris. Yeah. I am the kind of person who absolutely keeps an Excel spreadsheet with sortable tables of all the inventory in any TTRPG I play. I'm the person that takes copious notes with timestamps that are linked to a recording on a private YouTube page and or other documents. So I think I might enjoy a game like Paris Rondo. Something else I am going to enjoy as well is that if we do hit at least 500 pounds, I do believe that Callum made a special promise to write, produce, sing a particular song, which I cannot sing here, otherwise we'll get copyright strike. But I did take a screenshot of it and post it on Twitter. So now the entire internet is going to help keep them to account. So if you have it in you to be generous, please get us to that goal. Not only will you be treated to the wonderful musical works of Callum, who had said that they are not musically inclined, so good on you, Callum, but also for a wonderful cause for AKT Charity. Please consider donating. Be sure to give what you can responsibly and comfortably give. That was such a wonderful game. I love seeing Blades in the Dark. I wish clocks would have been brought in a bit sooner. What's wrong with clocks? Clocks are great. Clocks add that little bit of pressure. It's like when you're at any TTRPG table in person and then suddenly the game master pulls out that little egg timer cooker, that little sand clock, and flips it on the table, watching their players go bananas. I love that. I love that. That's so amazing. Yes, this is Halloween. This is Halloween, not so that any sort of algorithm detecting melody from me. But that is what Callum has offered to write for us. If you need help on knowing where to donate, that link is being put in the chat by our amazing, amazing mod squad. Thank you so much, everyone. You've seen a couple of costume changes from the table, from the other MC, Sarah. So chat, what are you planning to dress up as this Halloween season? I want to see in chat what you are planning to dress up as. Even if you don't have anywhere to go, even if you're going to sit at home and you're going to get fancy about it, what's it going to be? Tell me. Sanguis is going to be a clown. Like a cute clown or a scary clown? Am I going to like see you in the gutters, or are you one of those like really cute, precious moments one, the kind you see in drugstores? I mean, Sanguis, if you're unfamiliar, our team lead at the Mod Squad, and a wizard, a magician of makeup, especially for cosplay. The creations that this person is able to whip up is mind-boggling. Looks amazing. Definitely check out older VODs. We are at youtube.com at the @ symbol roll for good, and you actually can see some of Blue's amazing makeup work on stream for previous streams that she has participated in. Loving Sunny says that they have a really pretty Halloween dress, cute little pumpkins, witches, and cats. Adorable. Sunny, also part of our mod squad, occasionally streams, a previous participant at Roll for Good. We all keep in the family here. So I hope to see this dress on your socials and or stream. Thank you so much for sharing and for being part of our amazing mod squad. If you're having fun with the amazing people you're encountering here from Roll for Good, consider joining us for our next event, which, no surprise, is likely going to be May of next year. So you can follow all our socials at Roll for Good. So that's FOR, Roll for Good, at card, CARRD.co. The mods are going to be posting those links. They are below in the below the screen if you're on PC on Twitch. And you can find out how to join us. Are you artistically inclined? Join our graphics team. Do you like juggling spreadsheets, and do you like being like an active chatty person in chat? Join the mod squad. Do you have some technical knowledge behind the computers to make all of this happen? Join the producer squad. There's space for you, and we look forward to having you on our team, especially if you are located outside North America. We are primarily an EU, UK based community, and we are a plethora of queer LGBTQI+. We are POC, we are immigrant, we are women, we are femfolk, we are neurodivergent, we are disabled, and everyone is welcome here so long as they are compassionate, good people. Like, we don't do the J.K. Rowling, no, out. We don't do exclusion unless you are a bad, mean, bullying person. This is all about the good vibes. We're going to have some more good vibes in our intermission bit, where actually Blue and I chat with representatives from AKT Charity. That's a charity that we're all raising funds for. I think it's a really big shame that especially young people who are just in the cusp of finding out who they are and what they want to do with their life, lose the stability when they come out to their families and say, hey, this is who I am, this is who I present as, this is who I love, this is what I want to wear, this is who I really am. And they're rejected for it. And not only do they lose that stability and their immediate community or families, they lose their homes. And AKT Charity does a lot of hands-on tailored work to each individual that comes their way within the UK. And I'm really thankful that this is the charity we are working with for this event. So thank you everyone for your generosity so far. And with that, we're going to listen to a little bit while the next table gets set up, which is Monster of the Week with some returning faces. I love this game. I love this table. And let's have that. Plus, I'm hoping some more giveaways in the chat. Thank you, moderators. This has been me. I've been Aida. It's been a pleasure to have you here again. And I'll see you in the chat. I'll see you on the Discord. And I'll see you personally next year. Stay tuned for the next MC. Bye-bye.